Chapter 1042. 3 days later, a huge city appeared in front of the intelligent war chariot. It was Blacktooth City. Su-Chun, are we going in just like this? Chi Mufeng asked nervously. Blacktooth City was the territory of the Void Beasts after all. Was it really okay to swagger in like this? Don't worry, no one will stop us. Su-Chun smiled faintly. The last time he passed through the teleportation formation in Blacktooth City, he was only a second stage saint rank. He killed 2 saint-level void beasts in Blacktooth City, and the city lord, Wei Yang, didn't even dare to fart. He even extorted 2 black stones from him. Now that he was a 4th stage saint rank, Wei Yang was like a mouse seeing a cat when he saw him. Satoshi entered the city. Su-Chun waved his hand and gave the order. Yes. The intelligent war chariot quickly flew into Blacktooth City, found the hall where the teleportation formation was, and flew down. The sudden intrusion of the intelligent war chariot immediately plunged Blacktooth City into chaos. Soon a large number of void beasts appeared around the intelligent war chariot and surrounded it. Let's go down. Su-Chun called out and slowly walked out of the chariot. Chi Mufeng and the other 2 followed closely behind. After getting out of the chariot, Su-Chun put away the intelligent war chariot and glanced around. He said in a commanding tone, "Tell Wei Yang to come and see me." "Human, who do you think you are? How dare you ask our city lord to come and see you? Do you want to die?" As soon as Su-Chun finished speaking, a level 10 void beast pointed at Su-Chun's nose and cursed. The void beasts around also stared at Su-Chun covetously, their eyes full of anger and hostility. Su-Chun narrowed his eyes and glanced at the level 10 void beast. Then he released his mental power and pulled it in front of him. Then, under the horrified gaze of the void beasts, he slapped it to death. He was a saint-level existence. Seeing that Su-Chun had casually killed a level 10 void beast, the crowd gasped. Knowing that Su-Chun was a saint, the surrounding void beasts were terrified and kept retreating. But at this moment a void beast suddenly screamed, "Oh no, he's Su-Chun of the human race." Last time, when Su-Chun's brain was in Blacktooth City, this void beast had seen Su-Chun once, so it quickly recognized him. Su-Chun. Was he the god of slaughter Su-Chun? A stone stirred up 1,000 ripples. After learning Su-Chun's true identity, there was a layer of extreme fear all around. All of the void beasts started to tremble, and their eyes were filled with deep fear as they looked at Su-Chun. Su-Chun's name resounded like thunder. Wherever the rumor reached, it would set off a storm of blood. The last time he came to Blacktooth City, he had killed 2 saint-level void beasts. What was the purpose of this visit? Was he going to massacre the city? Su-Chun, don't be so arrogant. Suddenly, a loud roar drifted over from afar. Su-Chun focused his gaze and saw 2 saint-level void beasts shooting over. One of them was Blacktooth City's city lord, Wei Yang. Wei Yang is a little bold. Su-Chun murmured, quietly waiting for the arrival of these 2 people. After Wei Yang and the saint-level void beast came close, they coldly glanced at Su-Chun and questioned. "Su-Chun, how dare you? Last time you came to Blacktooth City to do evil, I let you go once. This time, you dare to be so presumptuous. Do you really think I can't deal with you? You're quite good at pretending." Su-Chun looked at Wei Yang, smiled contemptuously, and then mocked. "Last time, when I killed 2 of your saint-level void beasts in Blacktooth City, you didn't even dare to fart. Now you think you can show off in front of me with one more helper?" Chapter 1043. Wei Yang's face turned red and white. He was so angry that the corners of his mouth trembled. Although Su-Chun's words were unpleasant to hear, it was the truth. For a moment he didn't know how to refute. "Su-Chun, I heard that you killed many of our clansmen not long after entering the void. A few days ago you even killed 2 sage-level existences here. Is that true?" The sage-level void beast beside Wei Yang glanced at Su-Chun and questioned coldly. "That is indeed the case." Su-Chun admitted generously. The other party was obviously denouncing him. But so what? With his current strength, only a 6th-stage sage-level void beast could give him some pressure. And judging from the aura of the void beast that spoke, it was only a 5th-stage sage level. It was no exaggeration to say that it could crush it with one hand. "Since you admitted it, you have to pay the price." How do you want to die? The void beast at the 5th stage of the saint rank looked as if it was going to eat Su Chen. Obviously, it was very uninformed. It definitely didn't know about Su Chen's massacre in the void tournament. Otherwise, it wouldn't dare to speak in such a tone. Su Chen curled his lips and said disdainfully, "There are too many people who want to kill me. So far, no one has been able to do it. Trash like you are even more delusional." Shameless boasting. Wei Yang rebuked angrily and said loudly, "Su Chen, don't think too highly of yourself. Do you know what kind of existence you are facing? He is Lord Suopiao, a 5th stage sage level existence." A touch of arrogance appeared on Suopiao's face. He shouted coldly at Su Chen, "Su Chen, kneel down and beg for my forgiveness. I may consider leaving your corpse intact." Is the void beast's brain flooded with water? Qi Mufeng and the other two looked at Suopiao as if they were looking at an idiot. Su Chen could even kill a 6th stage sage level at will. How dare Suopiao ask Su Chen to kneel down? He was simply courting death. Su Chen rubbed his nose and walked slowly toward Suopiao. Since the other party didn't know what was good for him, he could only kill him. Seeing Su Chen's self-satisfied expression, Suopiao frowned slightly. But he didn't think too much about it. He clenched his huge fist and smashed it toward Su Chen's face. Su Chen turned a blind eye to this. When the opponent's fist was about to hit him, he suddenly released his mental strength. His cultivation had advanced to the 4th stage of the sacred rank, and he had eaten the essence fruit twice. His spiritual power had already surpassed the 5th stage of the sacred rank, and he could easily bind Jaggery. "You're Suopiao." Suopiao's Suopiao was shocked Suo by Suopiao Piao. Suopiao's Piao. Sensing the violent aura emitted by Su Chen, Wei Yang was so scared that his entire body trembled. Only now did he realize why Su Chen was not afraid at all. So it was because of the advancement of his cultivation. But the last time they met, Su Chen was clearly only a 2nd-level saint. How did he manage to level up twice in just a few months? This was too inconceivable. After binding Rugged, Su Chen moved and appeared in front of Rugged like a ghost. Then, under Rugged's terrified gaze, he grabbed him by the neck. Woo-woo. Jaggy was so scared that his face turned white. He wanted to beg Su Chen for mercy, but Su Chen choked him so hard that he couldn't speak. "I've already told you that you're trash, but you didn't believe me." Su Chen sneered, and then broke the skinny neck with one hand. Crack. His bony neck tilted, and he fell to the ground like a pile of mud. His life aura was completely gone, and he died just like that. Chapter 1044. Suddenly, the whole place fell silent. All the void beasts were dumbfounded, looking at Su Chen with eyes full of deep horror. They would never have thought that the Saint Ranker, a 5th-level Saint Ranker, would not even have the power to resist under Su Chen's hands and be easily killed. Su Chen's strength completely shocked them. How could this be? Wei Yang's face was full of bitterness as he murmured. He never thought that Su Chen would be so strong. With the death of Rugged Bone, his fate could be imagined. Because with Su Chen's style of doing things, he would definitely not let him go. Thinking of this, Wei Yang collapsed to the ground powerlessly, his face full of despair. "If you knew it would come to this, why did you do it in the first place?" Su Chen shook his head and stepped forward. "Su Chen, can you give me another chance? I can give you compensation, a lot of compensation." Wei Yang trembled and begged for mercy. Although he knew that the possibility of Su Chen letting him go was not great, he still had to fight for it. "Forget it, you'd better go down with Rugged Bone." Su Chen curled his lips and stomped his foot. With a loud bang, Wei Yang's whole body burst into a blood mist, not even his bones were left. Hiss. Witnessing this scene, there was a sound of cold air being sucked in. All the void beasts began to feel uneasy, and a great panic spread in their hearts. It was rumored that Su Chen's favorite thing was to destroy cities and exterminate clans. He had just destroyed Maguang City a few days ago. Then, would he take the opportunity to uproot Blacktooth City? If it were any other time, Su Chen would have destroyed Blacktooth City without mercy. But now he was in a hurry to rush to the Hidden Spirit Sect, and had no time to waste here. After collecting the fragments, he glanced around and finally his eyes fell on a 1st-level Saint Rank Void Beast and said lightly, "You come here." Being called out by Su Chen personally, The void beast of the first level of the saint rank felt its heart stop beating. After hesitating for a moment, he braced himself and walked to Su Chen's side. He respectfully asked, "Senior, what can I do for you? Is there a teleportation array that leads to Wild Goose Array City?" Su Chen glanced at the other party and asked. "Yes," the void beast hastily replied. "Take me to that teleportation array," Su Chen said in an unquestionable tone. With that, he roared at the surrounding void beasts. "Get lost if you don't want to die." In order to ensure absolute safety during the teleportation process, the surroundings had to be cleaned up. Immediately, all the void beasts scrambled to escape, and they all disappeared in the blink of an eye. The void beast led Su Chen and the others into the teleportation hall. When they arrived in front of a teleportation array, the void beast said respectfully to Su Chen, "Senior, this teleportation array leads to Wild Goose Array City. You can leave now," Su Chen said coldly. "Thank you, Senior." The void beast felt as if he had been pardoned. He expressed his gratitude and fled the place. After he left, Su Chen called Qi Mufeng and the others to enter the teleportation array. Then he activated the teleportation array. After a moment of dizziness, Su Chen's vision gradually became clear. He found himself in another hall. In the hall, there were 3 void beasts sizing him up with surprised and bewildered gazes. "The 3 of you, this should be Wild Goose Array City, right?" Su Chen smiled faintly and walked down the teleportation array slowly. "Human, who are you? Why are you here?" One of the void beasts was stunned for a moment. After regaining his senses, he shouted at Su Chen. Chapter 1045. It doesn't matter who I am. You just have to tell me if this is Goose Array City. Su Chen rubbed his nose and said calmly, "Since you don't want to tell me, then die." The void beast that spoke had a ferocious expression. He roared and charged toward Su Chen. His cultivation had reached level 1 of the sage level. Seeing that Su Chen was young and a weak human, he didn't dare to attack. Therefore, he didn't take Su Chen seriously at all. "Why do you have to force me to attack?" Su Chen sighed. Then he threw out a punch. The sound of something breaking through the air reverberated in the hall. Bang! What followed was the sound of an explosion. The void beast that charged towards Su Chen was blasted into pieces. What level is he at? The remaining 2 void beasts were dumbfounded. They stood on the spot and couldn't stop trembling. Su Chen had smashed a void beast at the first level of the sacred rank with a single punch. This was an unprecedented shock to them. At this moment, their hearts were filled with fear. Is this Goose Array City? After Su Chen collected the fragments, his gaze fell on the 2 void beasts as he questioned them. "Senior, this is Goose Array City." One of the void beasts swallowed his saliva with difficulty and replied with a trembling voice. Su Chen nodded slightly and didn't pay any more attention to him. He turned around and led Qi Mufeng and the other 2 out of the hall. When the 4 of them walked out of the hall, there were a few sounds of something breaking through the air. Then a few void beasts flew over. The teleportation hall was an important place in Goose Array City. Su Chen killed a sage-level void beast here, causing a huge commotion. The sage-level void beasts in Goose Array City naturally came over to see what was going on. Cultivators from the myriad races. When they saw the appearance of Su Chen and the other 3, the void beasts were stunned. Wild Goose Array City was the territory of the void beasts. How could the cultivators of the myriad races appear here? Also, where did they teleport from? A 5th-level saint-level void beast glanced at Su Chen's group and said coldly, "Why are you here? Give me a reasonable explanation, or I'll tear you to shreds." Su Chen stepped forward and said calmly, "We came from Blacktooth City. We're just passing through. Don't get too excited. Borrow the path." Could Blacktooth City allow the practitioners of all races to pass through the transmission array? The void beast's expression froze. Then it said fiercely, "Brat, do you take me for a fool? If you don't tell me the truth, don't blame me for being rude." Su Chen rubbed his nose and smiled contemptuously. "You better keep a low profile in front of me. Otherwise, I might bring destruction to your Wild Goose Array City." Entering Wild Goose Array City was actually just a matter of passing through. If the other party was tactful, he would leave. However, if the other party didn't know what was good for them and insisted on looking for trouble, they could only go on a killing spree. Haha. As soon as Su Chen's words fell, the void beasts laughed wildly. Brat, you really know how to show off. Do you know where this is? Are you tired of living? A third-level saint-level void beast mocked Su Chen mercilessly. The other void beasts also looked at Su Chen as if they were looking at a fool. It was as if Su Chen was just a lamb waiting to be slaughtered in their eyes. They could kill him at any time. Deputy City Lord, this human killed one of our saint-level clansmen. However, at this moment, 2 void beasts in the transmission hall rushed out and told the 5th-level saint-level void beast what had just happened. Previously, they were scared out of their wits by Su Chen's strength. However, after the appearance of the 5th-level saint-level void beast, they became fearless. Chapter 1046. Human, how dare you kill our clansmen? How dare you? Hearing this, the void beast flew into a rage. It glared at Su Chen with a bone-chilling gaze. I've already killed them. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Su Chen curled his lips and replied disdainfully. Haha. The void beast was not angry. Instead, he laughed and said, Boy, you've successfully angered me. I'll make you wish you were dead. As soon as he finished speaking, he signaled the void beast with his eyes. The latter understood tacitly, and with a ferocious look, he pounced straight at Su Chen. Boy, this is what you get for acting tough. The void beast was as fast as lightning. He appeared in front of Su Chen in the blink of an eye. Then he stretched out his claws, which were emitting an evil light, and grabbed at Su Chen's face. You don't know what's good for you. Su Chen snorted and punched out. When the fist and the claw collided, a violent explosion shook the heavens and the earth. The void beast broke inch by inch, starting from his palm. Soon it spread to all parts of his body. Finally, he was smashed into pieces. Hiss! The void beasts were indescribably horrified when they saw this, and they all gasped in unison. The void beast's heart skipped a beat, and a solemn look flashed across his face. He could easily kill a first-level saint-rank void beast. However, he could never smash it into pieces with one punch like Su Chen did, because the void beast's body was extremely strong. He could only do that if he had great strength. Thus, it could be seen that Su Chen's strength had reached an incredible level. His strength was probably not inferior to his. Human, who are you? The void beast asked coldly. After knowing that Su Chen was a powerful cultivator, he stopped looking down on him. I'm the one who's going to kill you. Su Chen didn't pay any attention to him. With a move of his feet, he charged straight at the other party. Since it was the other party who made the first move, there was no need for him to show mercy. Arrogant. The 5th-level saint-rank void beast flew into a rage. It grabbed a pitch-black giant axe and chopped down at Su Chen. From Su Chen's aura, he judged that Su Chen was a 4th-level saint-rank cultivator. So what if his strength far exceeded those of the same level? How could he be a match for a 5th-stage Saint Realm expert? Su Chen turned a blind eye to the incoming axe. His palm glowed with a faint golden light as he reached out to grab it. Seeing this, the void beast was stunned for a moment before it became overjoyed. His giant axe was a very high-grade saint artifact. It was incomparably sharp. Su Chen actually dared to use his physical body to resist. This was simply throwing an egg at a rock. The other void beasts also had the same idea. At this moment, they were looking at Su Chen as if they were looking at a dead man. In their opinion, as long as the axe fell, Su Chen would definitely be split in half. Qi Mufeng and the other two were smiling. They weren't worried about Su Chen at all. They had all witnessed the strength of Su Chen's physical body with their own eyes. He even dared to resist the sword-wielding Taoist saint artifact. A mere giant axe was nothing to him. Bang! Accompanied by the sound of metal clashing, the pitch-black giant axe heavily chopped down on Su Chen's palm. However, the scene of Su Chen being chopped into pieces didn't appear as they had expected. The pitch-black giant axe seemed to have chopped down on a hard piece of metal. Not only did it not cause any damage to Su Chen, but it was also firmly grasped in his hand, unable to move at all. How is this possible? Witnessing this incredible scene, all the void beasts were stunned. Chapter 1047. The 5th stage saint-level void beast's heart was in turmoil. He couldn't imagine how a weak human could have such a strong physical body and strength. While he was in a daze, he suddenly felt a huge force coming at him. Then, the giant axe in his hand was snatched away by Su-Chen. You! The void beast looked at Su-Chen in horror, and it couldn't help but take a few steps back. Without the sacred weapon, his combat strength was at least halved. He was definitely no match for Su-Chen. At this moment, the thought of escaping immediately appeared in his mind. Not bad. Su-Chen looked at the giant axe in his hand, and then threw it into his storage bag. This giant axe was of high quality. If it was broken down and converted, he could get at least 7,000 to 8,000 energy points. He was quite satisfied. After putting away the giant axe, Su-Chen looked at the void beast and said indifferently, "Didn't you want to kill me? Why are you scared?" Gulp. The 5th stage Saint rank void beast swallowed his saliva, and his face was filled with fear. The sacred weapon was taken away. How could he kill Su-Chen? Human, this is Wild Goose Array City after all. We still have a level 6 Saint level expert. Don't be too arrogant. Afraid that Su-Chen would attack him, the void beast quickly pointed out that there were still experts in Wild Goose Array City to make Su-Chen afraid. Su-Chen curled his lips and said with a contemptuous smile, "A level 6 Saint level is also an ant in my eyes. I'll kill one if one comes." You! The void beast wanted to curse Su-Chen for boasting shamelessly, but under Su-Chen's gaze, it didn't dare to open its mouth. Human, do you really think that there are no experts in Wild Goose Array City? Suddenly, a dignified voice drifted over. As soon as he finished speaking, an abnormally tall void beast shot over rapidly. Its entire body was exuding a strong murderous aura. This void beast was precisely the Wild Goose Array City's City Lord Duanzong, a 6th level Saint rank expert. 6th level Saint realm. Sensing the berserk aura emitted from Duanzang's body, the expressions of Qi Mufeng and the other two changed slightly. Su-Chen's expression did not change. He sized up Duanzong and said with a smile, "You finally came out. I thought you would continue to be a coward." Before coming here, he had heard from Qi Mufeng that there was a 6th stage Saint-ranked void beast in Goose Array City. The reason why he wasn't in a hurry to kill the other void beasts was because he wanted the 6th stage Saint-rank void beast to show itself. Only then would he be able to capture all of them in one fell swoop, and obtain even more fragments. A mere level 4 Saint level human dares to behave atrociously in my Wild Goose Array City. You do have some guts. Duanzong glanced at Su-Chen, and a cold light suddenly shot out from his eyes. He said coldly, "However, those who dare to behave atrociously in my Wild Goose Array City will not have a good ending. You are no exception." As soon as he finished speaking, a cruel smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. His brows furrowed, and he released a majestic mental power, directly crushing towards Su-Chen. He is actually a spirit reader. Su-Chen was somewhat surprised. Void beasts were known for their strong physical bodies. The void beasts he had killed in the past were all evolvers. This was the first time he encountered a void beast that cultivated mental power. "Kid, let's see how you are going to act cool this time." Seeing that Duanzong was personally making a move, the other void beasts all thought that Su-Chen was definitely going to die this time. They all sneered. "Competing with me in mental power? You are too naive." The corner of Su-Chen's mouth twitched slightly, and he instantly used Atlas shapeshifting technique. When his body rose to a height of 10 feet, he quickly released his mind power. Chapter 1048. Level 5 Saint Stage. Spirit Reader. Seeing that Su-Chen's cultivation had risen to level 5 Saint Stage, and he was also a spirit reader, Duanzong was slightly moved, but he quickly recovered. After all, he was one level higher than Su-Chen, and he had absolute confidence in his own spirit power. Su-Chen competing with him in spirit power was tantamount to hitting a rock with an egg. In the next moment, two violent spirit powers collided. Duanzang's expression suddenly changed. He clearly felt that Su-Chen's spirit power was like a vast ocean, crushing his spirit power inch by inch. Why is it like this? Duanzong was stunned, his eyes filled with disbelief. Su-Chen's level was clearly one level lower than his. Why was his spirit power crushing him? Of course, he didn't know that Suchen had consumed the essence origin fruit twice, and his spirit power was even more powerful than a level 6 saint stage. Being crushed all the way without any preparation was also within reason. Duanzong, who reacted, felt a chill in his heart, and was about to smash Suchen's spirit power with his fist. But he saw Suchen punch out from afar. Suddenly, he felt his spirit tremble, and a sense of loss appeared in his mind, and he immediately fell into an illusion. Also at this time, a purple light flashed under Suchen's feet, and he disappeared in an instant. When he appeared again, he was already in front of Duanzong. Then he smashed down with a small 5-colored mountain that was 10 feet in size. A loud rumbling sound rang out. Duanzong was drowned in it. The city lord is dead? The void beasts in the surroundings were stunned, and even wondered if they were dreaming. Duanzong was a level 6 saint stage existence, and he was also an evolver and spirit reader. In their hearts, he had always been an invincible existence. How could he be so easily killed by a human? It must be an illusion. It must not be real. The void beasts couldn't accept this reality. They rubbed their eyes and looked at Duanzang's original position. But at this time, Suchen put away the primary 5 extremes mountain. A pile of flesh quickly appeared on the ground, and judging from the remnants of the clothes, it was Duanzang's. When they saw this, an extremely intense feeling of fear spread through the hearts of the spatial beasts. At this moment, they all clearly realized that Duanzong was really killed, and it was an instant kill. Now that Duanzong was dead, would the human in front of them let them go? Upon realizing this, the group of void beasts retreated in fear and trepidation. Suchen narrowed his eyes. Suchen summoned the golden puppet and ordered, "Otetsu, kill them all." Without another word, the golden armored puppet rushed up and wreaked havoc. Suchen didn't stay idle either. He locked onto the void beast at the 5th level of the saint rank and easily killed it. In less than a minute, Zhang Xian's expression changed. More than a dozen saint stage void beasts were killed, and Suchen happily collected the fragments. Then he took out the intelligent war chariot and left Wild Goose Array City with Qi Mufeng and the others. Behind them, Suchen began to organize the fragments. Under Qi Mufeng's guidance, the intelligent war chariot flew straight towards the hidden spirit sect. 3 days later, the intelligent war chariot flew to a small island and stopped. This island was where the hidden spirit sect was located. Suchen narrowed his eyes and glanced outside. He sneered. The hidden spirit sect actually didn't set up a defensive barrier? Normally, islands would have a defensive barrier set up around the periphery to prevent outsiders from invading. But there was no sign of a defensive barrier on the island where the hidden spirit sect was located. It was unknown if they were fearless or if they had other arrangements. Chapter 1049. Suchen glanced at it and ordered the intelligent war chariot. Satoshi, enter the island. Yes. The intelligent war chariot flew over the island and slowly landed. As soon as it landed on the ground, an old man in a golden robe flew over from a building not far away. This person was obviously from the hidden spirit sect, but when he saw the intelligent war chariot forcing its way in, he did not look angry at all. Instead, there was a faint smile on his face. It was as if he had seen a long-lost friend and came out to greet him. Suchen felt a little strange, but he did not think too much about it. He opened the car door and got out alone. Suchen, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you for a long time. The golden-robed old man looked at Suchen and greeted him politely. Suchen exclaimed softly. The other party's politeness made him a little uncomfortable, so he asked, "Who are you?" "I'm Venerable Golden Light, the current sect master of the Hidden Spirit sect," the golden-robed old man said directly. "The sect master of the Hidden Spirit sect?" Suchen pondered and gradually narrowed his eyes. There was a faint cold light in his eyes. The main purpose of this trip was to destroy the Hidden Spirit sect. As the sect master of the Hidden Spirit sect, Venerable Golden Light naturally could not let him go. However, he was a little confused by Venerable Golden Light's actions. "You should know the purpose of my trip, right?" Suchen stared at Venerable Golden Light and asked coldly. "Of course I know." Venerable Golden Light nodded and said with a smile, If I'm not wrong, you must be here to denounce me because of Yang Xiuli, right? Since you know, do you think you can stop me by yourself? Su Chen said. At this moment, he had a lot of doubts. Since the hidden spirit sect knew the purpose of his trip, shouldn't they send all their experts? Why did they only send Venerable Golden Light? Did they think Venerable Golden Light could deal with him? Although I'm a 6th level saint stage existence, I'm definitely not your opponent. Monk Jingguang generously admitted this point. Then he smiled and said, however, what we had before was actually a misunderstanding. We can completely bury the hatchet of war into jade and silk. There is no need to fight and kill. Misunderstanding? Su Chen sneered. Your hidden spirit sect's Yang Xiuli personally attacked me, and you're telling me that it's a misunderstanding? Do you think I'm a 3-year-old kid? When Monk Golden Light saw that Su Chen was somewhat angry, he hurriedly explained. Although Yang Xiuli is a member of our hidden spirit sect, she was expelled from the sect 3 years ago. Her attack on you is her personal matter. It has nothing to do with our hidden spirit sect. Do you think I'll believe that? Su Chen curled his lips, his face full of disdain. Venerable Master Jingguang's excuse was not convincing at all. He wanted to clear his name after the incident. Venerable Master Golden Light continued to explain. Do you know why we banished Yang Xiuli? It's because he's a spy planted by heaven-scattering Taoist in our hidden spirit sect. There's such a thing? Su Chen muttered. If what Monk Jingguang said was true, he really couldn't find trouble with the hidden spirit sect. After all, although he acted without scruples, he also had his principles. The other party didn't provoke him, but he slaughtered the whole sect. This was a bit unreasonable. However, he couldn't be sure whether this was true or not. Moreover, he would not be reconciled if he didn't gain anything after coming all the way here. How can you prove that what you said is true? Su Chen questioned. Chapter 1050. I can make a heavenly oath. Venerable Master Jingguang swore solemnly. He really couldn't bring out any evidence to prove it. The heavenly oath had a certain binding force. If he used it to prove himself, it would be somewhat credible. Su Chen was slightly stunned and then said, Then you can make a heavenly oath. Venerable Master Jingguang swore a heavenly oath without hesitation. Seeing that Venerable Master Jingguang was so decisive, Su Chen felt that he shouldn't be lying. Old Master Jingguang, Yang Xiuli is a member of the hidden spirit sect after all. Even if she was expelled, she still has an unavoidable responsibility, right? Su Chen said casually. He couldn't destroy the hidden spirit sect, but he should at least get some benefits. Otherwise, how could he be reconciled? Venerable Master Jingguang understood immediately and laughed. Of course the hidden spirit sect is responsible. For this, we will give you some compensation. Su Chen nodded slightly, and felt that Venerable Master Jingguang was very sensible. The hidden spirit sect mainly collects and sells information. We will give you some secret information for free as compensation. Is that okay? Venerable Master Jingguang continued. Su Chen thought for a moment and reminded, I don't care about ordinary information. Although secret information was not as satisfying as material objects, some valuable information was definitely not to be belittled. For example, Qi Mufeng's news of the spirit spring of life was very tempting. What kind of information do you want to know? Venerable Master Jingguang asked. In order to satisfy Su Chen, he simply let Su Chen ask, Is there any information about the origin stone? Su Chen probed. Currently, the thing that could help him the most was the origin stone. Because he had a godly puppet from the machinery clan. As long as he installed the origin stone, it could be awakened. By then, heaven-scattering Taoists would no longer be a threat to him. However, he also knew that the number of origin stones in the world was very small. Recently, he had asked many people about it, but it was to no avail. Even if the hidden spirit sect was a sect that collected information, there should be very little information about the origin stone. He was just asking casually and did not have much hope. When Venerable Master Jingguang heard this, his expression changed. He knew that the origin stone was the source of power for the godly puppet. However, something like this was definitely a rare item in the world. Naturally, very few people knew about it. And he just so happened to know something about it. Monk Jingguang hesitated for a moment before saying, "There seems to be an origin stone in the heavenly altar Huanyu." Su Chen's eyes lit up and he asked, "Are you sure?" He was already planning to make a trip to the heavenly altar Huanyu. If there were still origin stones there, it would be like adding wings to a tiger. It's just hearsay. "I'm not sure if it's true or not," Venerable Master Golden Light replied. Then he reminded, "Su Chen, you'd better not go to the Temple of Heaven rashly." Su Chen nodded and didn't say anything. Not only was there a large amount of spatial turbulence in the Temple of Heaven, there were also many terrifying creatures. However, in order to awaken the divine beast and advance to the deity realm as soon as possible, he had to make a trip there. Of course, he would only go there on the premise that he had sufficient strength. "Old Jean, do you know where there are top-notch ores?" Su Chen calmed down and continued to ask. If the group of spirit pets and the 3 exotic fires wanted to level up quickly, they couldn't do without top-notch ores. Moreover, the ores that he had obtained from the secret realm were almost used up. He had to replenish them. Since Venerable Master Golden Light knew the whereabouts of the origin stone, he should know where the top-notch ores were like the back of his hand. Chapter 1051. Aren't you going to the Void Secret Realm? There are a lot of high-quality ores there, Monk Jingguang said. Oh. Su Chen nodded. Qi Mufeng had said that there were many good things in the Void Secret Realm that could improve one's cultivation. If Monk Jingguang hadn't reminded him, he would have forgotten about it. "Old Jingguang, let's meet again if fate wills it." Su Chen said goodbye and prepared to leave. Now that he knew the whereabouts of the origin stone, this trip was not in vain. He had to hurry back and not delay the opening of the Void Secret Realm. "Okay, let's meet again if fate wills it." Monk Jingguang let out a long sigh of relief. Su Chen didn't leave, which made him feel pressured. Now he could finally relax. Su Chen didn't say anything else, and turned to walk toward the intelligent war chariot. Unexpectedly, before he took a few steps, the swift bird suddenly warned him. "Master, there's a powerhouse rapidly approaching us." "How strong?" Su Chen didn't pay too much attention. "It seems to be a 7th stage saint-level powerhouse," the swift bird replied with a trembling voice. 7th stage saint level? Su Chen's eyelids twitched. He didn't care about a 6th stage saint-level powerhouse, but a 7th stage saint-level powerhouse was enough to pose a threat to him. However, was the other party coming for him? He couldn't be sure yet. Soon, a golden spaceship flew over from not far away. It was almost as fast as the intelligent war chariot. Emote Songhai of the Beilu Mountain. Why is he here? Monk Jingguang whispered with a grave expression. Emote Songhai was not only a 7th stage saint-level powerhouse, but he also had a 6th stage saint-level puppet. It could be said that he was abnormally strong. His sudden appearance caused Monk Jingguang to feel uneasy. Su Chen wasn't in a hurry to leave. He suspected that Emote Songhai came for him. If so, even if he wanted to leave, the other party would definitely stop him. Rather than that, it was better to wait and see. When the golden spaceship came close, the moment the cabin door opened, an old man with a cold expression walked out. The man narrowed his eyes and looked around. Finally, his gaze landed on Su Chen. He said coldly, "You are Su Chen, right?" "Yes, what's the matter?" Su Chen said indifferently. "I came here mainly for 2 things. If you agree to both of them, I won't make things difficult for you." Emote Songhai said very naturally. "Tell me about it." Su Chen rubbed his nose and said calmly. Even though the other party was a 7th stage saint ranker, he wasn't afraid at all. Because he had stored a large amount of energy points, he could raise his cultivation to level 5 saint rank at any time. As expected of the god of slaughter, you do have some guts. Seeing Su Chen's fearless and calm look, Emote Songhai praised him and then said, "Hand over your golden puppet and heaven's scattering Taoist things, and I can spare your life." "Are you sent by heaven's scattering Taoist?" Su Chen gradually narrowed his eyes, and a cold light flickered in his eyes. If the other party was really sent by heaven's scattering Taoist, he would definitely not let him go. "You don't need to know that. You just have to say whether you want to hand them over or not." Emote Songhai snorted with an arrogant look. At the same time, a huge pressure emanated from his body. Monk Jingguang was affected and kept retreating. In the intelligent chariot, Qi Mufeng and the other two people changed their expressions greatly. They had already perceived that Emote Songhai was definitely a 7th stage saint ranker. He was 3 levels higher than Su Chen. Could Su Chen still be a match for him? At this moment, they were extremely worried. Chapter 1052. What if I don't hand it over? Su Chen snorted. If you don't know what's good for you, I'll kill you right here. Emote Songhai's face darkened, and a cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. It looked like he had Su Chen in his grasp. Kill me? Su Chen curled his lips and said disdainfully, I'm afraid you don't have the right to do that. As soon as his words left his mouth, his body suddenly rose. When he reached a height of 30 meters, he quickly spent another 200,000 energy points to exchange for a level 16 all-attribute fragment. In this way, his cultivation instantly soared to the 6th stage of the saint stage. Shameless boasting. Do you think you can be rampant in front of me just because you have some strength? Today, I'll show you what a real powerhouse is. Emote Songhai sneered. Just as he was about to attack, he suddenly froze. At this moment, he clearly felt that Su Chen's aura had reached the 6th stage of the saint stage. However, he had received news that Su Chen was only a 4th stage saint stage. Even if he used a transformation technique, he could only reach the 5th stage of the saint stage. Why was he now a 6th stage saint stage? Could it be that he was hiding his cultivation? Thinking of this, Emote Songhai's scalp tingled. He had heard of Su Chen's powerful combat strength. Killing enemies of a higher level was like child's play to him. The reason why he dared to come and force Su Chen was that he was 2 levels higher than Su Chen. He thought he could crush Su Chen. However, in the current situation, Su Chen was indeed a 6th stage saint stage. How could he crush Su Chen? He might even lose his life here. Su Chen has advanced. Monk Jingguang was extremely shocked. According to the information he had collected, Su Chen had just broken through to the 4th stage of the saint stage during the Starry Sky Grand Competition. This information couldn't be wrong. It meant that Su Chen had advanced again in just a few days. However, what he couldn't understand was that it was extremely difficult to break through to the saint level. It would easily take decades or even centuries. Su Chen's terrifying advancement speed was unheard of and rarely seen in the world. He was definitely one of the most monstrous geniuses in the world. After learning that Su Chen had leveled up, Qi Mufeng and the others were overjoyed. The worry in his heart had also disappeared. You hid your strength. Emote Songhai stared at Su Chen in a daze. The corner of his mouth began to tremble. He didn't think that Su Chen could advance in such a short period of time. So he suspected that Su Chen was hiding his cultivation. It's none of your business. Su Chen smiled contemptuously and provoked. Didn't you want to kill me? Hurry up, I can't wait any longer. Emote Songhai swallowed his saliva and said in a trembling voice, Su Chen, I was just joking with you. Please don't take it to heart. Su Chen had already reached the 6th stage of the saint stage. He didn't dare to fight with Su Chen. He could only try his best to say some nice things and pray that Su Chen wouldn't lower himself to his level. Monk Jingguang's eyes were filled with disdain. Emote Songhai was extremely arrogant before, and kept saying that he wanted to kill Su Chen. However, after Su Chen leveled up, he changed his attitude and acted like a grandson. This was simply a disgrace to the 7th stage of the saint stage. He didn't even want face. A joke? Su Chen sneered and said indifferently, Since you don't dare to attack, I won't hold back. As soon as he finished speaking, his feet moved, and he transformed into a streak of light that charged towards Emote Songhai. You're going too far. Emote Songhai gritted his teeth and swung an iron rod that flickered with starlight at Su Chen. Since Su Chen didn't want to let him go, he could only fight with all his might. Chapter 1053. Su Chen suddenly stopped halfway. This unexpected action made Emote Songhai very uncomfortable. The iron staff in his hand stopped in midair. Not knowing what Su Chen was doing, he quickly opened his storage bag and summoned a puppet of the 6th stage of the saint stage to defend himself. Su Chen, let's stop here. I'll pretend that nothing happened. After summoning the puppet of the 6th stage of the Saint stage, Emote Songhai had calmed down from his previous panic. He was no longer so afraid of Suchin. Suchin didn't say anything, but a strange smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Emote Songhai saw this and his heart couldn't help but tremble. He vaguely felt that something was wrong. But at this moment, a terrifying pressure suddenly came from behind him. A sneak attack? Emote Songhai shuddered and quickly turned around. In his line of sight was another Suchin, who was holding a 5-colored mountain and smashing it down on his head. How can there be two Suchin? Emote Songhai felt extremely strange. Just as he was about to block, Suchin punched him from afar. Soon after, a sense of confusion surged into his heart. All the movements of his hands also came to a halt. Suchen's second primordial spirit took the opportunity to smash down the integrated 5 extremes mountain. Emote Songhai's puppet of the 6th stage of the Saint stage saw that something was wrong and raised its arms to block the integrated 5 extremes mountain. However, it obviously didn't expect the weight of the integrated 5 extremes mountain. After a slight contact, it was directly pressed to the ground. Emote Songhai also fell to the ground with it. At this moment, he had broken free from the illusion. However, being pressed to the ground by the integrated 5 extremes mountain, he had lost the ability to resist. Suchin is too strong. Seeing Suchin capture Emote Songhai like a rabbit, Monk Golden Light was shocked. He had long guessed that Emote Songhai would not be Suchin's match, but he did not expect Emote Songhai to be so weak. Under Suchin's hands he didn't even have a chance to resist. However, he was also clear about one thing. Emote Songhai was by no means a weakling. The reason for this situation to occur could only mean that Suchin was far stronger than the rumors said. A piece of trash like you wants to kill me? Suchin slowly walked forward and sneered. As he walked, a pitch-black battle saber appeared in his hand. The cold light on it was dazzling. Suchin, I was also bewitched by heaven's scattering Taoist. Please give me another chance. Emote Songhai begged loudly. At this moment, he'd been reduced to a lamb waiting to be slaughtered, and his life was in the hands of Suchin. If he wanted to live, he could only beg Suchin to show mercy. What's the point of keeping trash like you? Suchin curled his lips and chopped down with his saber. With a crack, Emote Songhai's head separated from his body. He's killed so easily. Venerable Master Jingguang sighed in his heart. Emote Songhai was a famous expert in the 7th stage of the Saint level. He could have been free and unfettered in the void. He shouldn't have provoked Suchin. He only had himself to blame for losing his life. After collecting the fragments, Suchin said goodbye to Venerable Master Jingguang. Then he got on the intelligent war chariot and left. How can there be such a monster in the world? Venerable Master Jingguang sighed deeply as he looked at the place where the intelligent war chariot disappeared. Suchin, shall we return to the Void Fortress or go somewhere else? On the way, Qi Mufeng asked. Let's return to the Void Fortress. Suchin thought for a moment and replied. Previously, they came here through the transmission formation. However, after the commotion, the Void Beast must be on guard. It would be unsafe to return through the transmission formation. If they could only fly back, they would be running out of time. If they went somewhere else, it was likely to delay the opening of the Void Secret Land. Chapter 1054. Behind him, the intelligent war chariot flew straight towards the Void Fortress. The first few days were peaceful, but on the 5th day, the swift bird reminded him. Master, I feel that someone has been spying on us. Someone is following us? Suchin frowned slightly and asked. It's not following us, it's like someone is secretly observing us, but they're very far away from us, the swift bird explained. Suchin pondered for a moment, then ordered the intelligent war chariot. Satoshi search. The intelligent war chariot had been upgraded to level 14, and its search range had reached 200,000 kilometers. If someone was really lying in ambush nearby, it would be able to find some clues. Master, I didn't find anything. The intelligent war chariot searched for a while and immediately replied. Ignore it, let's continue our journey. Since he couldn't find any traces of the other party, Suchin simply ignored it. The intelligent war chariot continued to fly for 2 days, and when they passed by a group of meteorites, the swift bird reminded him again. Master, the dangerous signal has been found, it's among the meteorites. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and looked at the meteorites. Suddenly, a white light shot out and quickly arrived in front of the intelligent war chariot. Then, after condensing, it turned into the shadow of a void beast. Su Chen, I have something to talk to you about. The void beast's shadow glanced at the intelligent war chariot and said coldly. Su Chen didn't think much about it, opened the door and walked out alone. He raised his voice and said to the void beast's shadow, "It's you who has been spying on us these few days, right?" "Yes." The void beast's shadow admitted generously. "What's your purpose?" Su Chen asked. The other party had been following him for several days, so there must be a purpose. "Since you entered the void, you've killed many of our people, right?" The void beast didn't answer the question and asked back. Su Chen nodded and waited for the other party to continue. "Since you've admitted it, let's continue our discussion." The void beast silhouette cleared its throat and said in a deep voice, "Those who oppose us void beasts will not have a good ending. Especially those like you who have killed countless of our clansmen. You will suffer our crazy revenge. However, this old man cherishes talents, so I can give you a chance to live. Tell me." Su Chen rubbed his nose, his expression calm. The void beast phantom's expression was solemn as it said coldly, "Submit to us void beasts or we'll destroy you." "You?" Su Chen's face was filled with disdain. The other party was just an illusion, yet he dared to boast about destroying him. What a joke. This old man gave you a chance. Since you didn't grasp it, then die. The void beast's phantom sneered. Suddenly, the group of meteorites behind him shook violently. In the next moment, all the meteorites gathered in one place. After a few breaths of time, they formed into a meteorite giant that was hundreds of meters tall. What is this? Qi Mufeng and the other two were stunned. At the same time, the void beast's phantom flew to the meteorite giant's head and then disappeared between his eyebrows. All of a sudden, a berserk aura of a 7th-level Saint Realm swept out from his body. Haha! The meteorite giant suddenly laughed wildly and stared at Su Chen with his huge eyes. He said coldly, "Su Chen, now you know fear? You're too naive." Su Chen shook his head with a look of contempt. He didn't take the other party seriously at all. Indeed, the meteorite giant's huge body gave people a very shocking feeling. But it was only a level 7 saint level after all. It wasn't qualified to show off in front of him. Chapter 1055. You're about to die, but you still dare to be stubborn. Then I'll let you have a taste of my power. The meteorite giant roared, clenching a fist the size of a hill and smashing it straight at Su Chen. Suddenly, a violent wave of air pressed down from above, and the entire void turned pitch black. The intelligent war chariot was affected, and was blown several miles away. Qi Mufeng and the other two in the chariot felt the pressure. Their faces changed drastically, and their breathing stopped. At the same time, they were worried about Su Chen. In the face of the meteorite giant's devastating punch, could Su Chen withstand it? Insignificant skill. Su Chen sneered, and his body suddenly rose to more than 10 feet away. Then he released his spiritual force to wrap around his fist, and at the same time, he ran the golden scale arm and the heavenly strength technique. Then he turned into a flash of light and rushed straight at the huge fist falling from the sky. Su Chen was going to fight head-on. Seeing this scene, Qi Mufeng and the other two's hearts stopped beating. You're overestimating yourself. A trace of disdain flashed across the meteorite giant's mouth, and then he increased his strength, vowing to kill Su Chen with one punch. The next moment, Su Chen and the meteorite giant's fist collided. There was a loud bang. The meteorite giant's mountain-like fist exploded, and suddenly it was torn apart, turning into pieces of meteorites again. It was like a meteorite rain, shooting in all directions. Su Chen is too fierce. Seeing Su Chen smash the meteorite giant's fist, Qi Mufeng and the other two roared excitedly. How could this be? The meteorite giant was dumbfounded as it watched its huge fist completely shatter. Regardless of whether it was Su Chen's physical body or strength, he was actually strong to such an extent. which really surprised him. But at this moment, Su Chen flew to the meteorite giant's head, directly summoned 100 holy swords, and slashed down from the sky. So many thunder-type holy swords. The meteorite giant was so shocked that he even forgot to defend. Puff! The 100 holy swords merged into a giant sword that was more than 10 feet long, and it went straight into the meteorite giant's head. With a stir, the meteorite giant's head fell apart. At the same time, it was accompanied by a shrill scream. The next second, the entire meteorite giant collapsed. Su Chen is too invincible. Looking at Su Chen's figure from afar, Qi Muyu's eyes were filled with infatuation as he sighed with emotion. Even the meteorite giant, who was 100 zhong tall and had a cultivation level of 7th stage saint rank, was no match for Su Chen. Su Chen's valiant and invincible image gradually left a mark in her heart. Don't let me find your real body. Su Chen's to kill to the heavens to die. Although he had destroyed the void beast's shadow, it did not drop any fragments, which made him very unhappy. Su Chen, that void beast seems to be Li Keqiuan from Silent Sound Island. Qi Mufeng reminded Su Chen when he returned to the car. Silent Sound Island. Li Keqiuan, Su Chen murmured. Suddenly he thought of something and said, "Is it the Silent Sound Island near the Void Ruins?" "Yes." Qi Mufeng replied affirmatively. "The next time I go to the Void Ruins, I can wipe out Silent Sound Island." Su Chen narrowed his eyes and murmured to himself. The Void Ruins was a place he learned from the 2 immortal element grasses. Even Heaven Scattering Taoist attached great importance to this place. Obviously there was a big secret hidden there. He was definitely going to find out what was going on. Li Keqiuan dared to attack him, so he could use this as an excuse to destroy Silent Sound Island. Chapter 1056. Behind them, the intelligent war chariot continued to fly toward the Void Fortress. It took them 7 days to reach the Void Barricade. However, to their surprise, the atmosphere in the Qi family was quite solemn, as if something big had happened. Su Chen and the other 3 entered the Void Fortress. When they were about to ask someone about it, Qi Mulei hurried over. Furthermore, from the looks of it, he seemed rather anxious. "Brother, what happened to our family?" Qi Mufeng was puzzled. "I'll tell you later." Qi Mulei replied. Then he turned to Su Chen and said, "Su Chen, quickly leave the Void Fortress and find a place to hide." "Why?" Su Chen was puzzled. Qi Mulei hesitated for a moment and said, "Feng Zan from the Feng family has come to challenge you. It'll be too late if you don't leave now." "The Feng family? Feng Zan?" Su Chen was even more puzzled. He didn't have any grudges with the Feng family. Why did they want to challenge him? And judging from Qi Mulei's anxious look, could it be that this Feng Zan was very powerful? Upon hearing the name of the Feng family, Qi Mufeng and the other 2's faces darkened. "Brother Qi, is Feng Zan very powerful?" Su Chen looked at Qi Mulei and asked. "Feng Zan is a 6th stage saint-level practitioner," Qi Mulei said straightforwardly. Su Chen was a little disdainful. A 6th stage saint-level practitioner was no different from an ant in his eyes. He could kill him with one hand. However, Qi Mulei should know this very well. Why did he look so worried? Could there be more to it? "Brother Qi, what's going on?" Su Chen asked in a low voice. Qi Mulei knew that Su Chen would not leave if he did not explain the situation clearly, so he explained. "The Feng clan is ranked first among the 10 great hidden clans, and their relationship with the Han clan and Gu clan has always been good. You destroyed the experts of the Han clan and the Gu clan. The Feng clan is very unhappy, so they came here to find trouble with you. If they want to cause trouble for me, they need to have the ability to do so." Su Chen snorted and continued. "The Feng clan only sent Feng Zan to challenge me, yet they are so confident." During the Starry Sky Grand Competition, he had killed 4 6th-level saint rank powerhouses with a single slash. His terrifying strength was on full display. A mere 6th-level saint ranker dared to challenge him? Could it be that water had entered his brain? Qi Mulei explained. "Phoenix Hairpin is a magic psychic. He knows that you're a full-time cultivator, so it's very likely that he'll challenge you to a match of magic power." Hee hee, a disdainful smile appeared on Su Chen's face. It was true that his profession as an evolver was the most powerful, but the magic psychic was not inferior to him. Especially now he had successfully integrated the 3 elements of magic. Not to mention a magic psychic at the 6th level of the saint rank, he could even kill a 7th level saint rank. Phoenix Hairpin dared to compete with him in magic power, which was tantamount to shooting himself in the foot. Seeing Su Chen's relaxed look, Chi Mulei reminded him. Feng Leha, the ancestor of the Feng clan, is also here. He is a cultivator at the 7th level of the saint rank. In addition, Phoenix Hairpin's grandfather is Xiao Zhan, the fort master of the Black Cloud Castle, a super powerhouse at the 8th level of the saint rank. The Feng clan is quite powerful. Su Chen muttered to himself. The 8th level of the saint rank could indeed pose a threat to him, but he had saved some energy points, which were enough for him to advance to the 6th level of the saint rank. Once he advanced to the 6th level of the saint rank, he could also defeat the 8th level of the saint rank. However, recently his speed of advancement had been too fast. It was very likely to attract the attention of heaven-scattering Taoist. He would not choose to advance unless he had no other choice. However, since the other party had come to challenge him, Su Chen would never flinch. He said to Chi Mulei, "Brother Chi, take me to meet the people of the Feng clan." Chapter 1057. Su Chen, we're going to the Void Secret Land soon. Don't cause any trouble. Let's hide for now. Chi Mulei advised. After interacting with Su Chen for some time, he more or less understood Su Chen's temper. If they really met with the Feng family, there might be a bloodbath. It wouldn't matter if it was an ordinary force, but the Feng family wasn't an ordinary force. Not only was Feng Leha a stage 7 saint-level expert, but he also had the support of Xiao Zhan from the Black Cloud Fort. No matter how strong Su Chen was, he wouldn't be a match for them, right? It's okay. Brother Chi, just bring me there. Su Chen said indifferently. Chi Mulei still didn't want to agree. Just as he was about to continue persuading, Chi Mufeng said, "Big brother, let's listen to Su Chen." Once Su Chen made up his mind, no one could stop him. Moreover, with Su Chen's current strength, a mere Feng family was really not enough to deal with him. Therefore, there was no need to worry about Su Chen. Chi Mulei looked at Chi Mufeng in a daze and didn't know what to say. The Feng family is here. At this moment, Chi Muyu pointed to the front and reminded. Su Chen squinted his eyes and saw a group of people walking towards them. Qi Qingchuan, Shang Chuishan, and the others were among them. There were 2 unfamiliar men in the group. One of them was about 50 years old. He had a strong back and a strong waist. His steps were vigorous, and he had the aura of a superior. The other man was about 27 or 28 years old. He looked ordinary, but his eyes were sharp. These 2 people were Feng Leha and Feng Zan from the Feng family. "You're Su Chen?" When the group came closer, Feng Leha squinted his eyes and looked at Su Chen. "Yes." Su Chen said calmly. Feng Leha snorted and questioned. "You haven't been in the void for long, but you've already annihilated many forces. You're quite bold. What does courage have to do with you? What can you do about it?" Su Chen replied disdainfully. Upon hearing this, the expressions of Qi Qingchuan and the others froze. In any case, Feng Leha was a 7th level saint rank powerhouse. Su Chen actually didn't give him any face at all. Wasn't this too arrogant? I've long heard that you have no scruples in doing things, and that you don't care about anyone. Today, I see that you live up to your reputation. Feng Leha's mouth twitched slightly. Instead of getting angry, he laughed. On the side, Feng Zan's face was gloomy as she coldly rebuked. "Su Chen, I advise you not to be too arrogant. Do you know what kind of existence you are facing? Brother Feng, Su Chen might not know your identities. Please don't mind him." Seeing that the situation was at daggers drawn, Qi Qingchuan hurriedly came out to smooth things over. Feng Leha snorted coldly. His anger hadn't subsided yet. Feng Zan said arrogantly, "Su Chen, listen carefully. We're from the number 1 of the top 10 hidden families, the Feng family. You just offended us. Why aren't you kneeling down and begging for our forgiveness? It's over." The hearts of Chi Mulei and the others skipped a beat. Fengzan, this idiot, dared to humiliate Su Chen. She was simply courting death. With Su Chen's temper, this matter wouldn't end well. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and glanced at Fengzan. Then he turned to Feng Leiha and said, "Why is the Feng family looking for me?" Feng Leiha said straightforwardly, "The Han family and Gu family have a partnership with our Feng family. You slaughtering them is going against our Feng family." And then? Su Chen said lightly. Feng Leiha smiled gloomily. "Our Feng family follows the rules. I'll send someone to challenge you." "Don't tell me you're planning to let this trash challenge me?" Su Chen pointed at Fengzan and said contemptuously. Chapter 1058. Fengzan's face turned ferocious as he gritted his teeth and growled. "Su Chen, do you want to die?" As the most talented magic psychic in the history of the Feng family, he was humiliated by Su Chen in front of his face, causing his anger to reach its peak. "Su Chen, I know you're a full-time cultivator. Do you dare to compete with me in terms of magic power?" Fengzan calmed down and raised his voice to provoke. Although he was conceited, he knew that if Su Chen used all his strength, he would definitely not be his opponent. However, if they only competed in terms of magic power, he was 100% sure that he could kill Su Chen. Sure. Su Chen did not hesitate at all. Qi Qingchuan and the others were a little worried, and felt that Su Chen was a little arrogant. They had seen Su Chen's strength as an evolver, but it was rare for Su Chen to use the means of a magic psychic. Fengzan was an extremely powerful magic psychic, and his cultivation had reached the 6th stage of the saint rank. Could Su Chen be his opponent? Feng Leiha's lips curled into a sinister smile, and then he reminded, "Remember what you said. You can only use magic power, otherwise don't blame me for being impolite." Su Chen curled his lips. "You don't have to worry about this. You just need to prepare to collect the corpses of your Feng family members." Hearing this, the hearts of Qi Qingchuan and the others trembled. Su Chen was going to be ruthless. But could he really kill Fengzan? Moreover, once Fengzan was killed, would Feng Leiha sit back and do nothing? After all, Feng Leiha was a 7th stage saint rank powerhouse. Was Su Chen not worried about Feng Leiha's anger at all? "Su Chen, you must calm down." Shang Chuishan reminded him anxiously. "No one can stop what I, Su Chen, want to do." Su Chen's expression was solemn as he said this. Then he looked at Fengzan and raised his voice. "Fengzan, come out and die." Arrogant. Fengzan couldn't take it anymore. She took a step forward and looked straight at Su Chen. The battle was on the verge of breaking out, and the others silently retreated, leaving the battlefield to Su Chen and Yi Zichen. "Su Chen, it's not too late to kneel and beg for mercy. Once I make a move, you won't have another chance." Fengzan glanced at Su Chen with an arrogant expression. "You're just an ant. Why do you have so much nonsense to say? Hurry up." Su Chen snorted disdainfully. "You're courting death." Fengzan roared and slowly raised his hands. In the next moment, a ball of light began to gather in each of his palms. In his left hand was a ball of dancing flame, and in his right hand was a ball of lightning. Fire and lightning dual-element magic. Dual-elemental magic psyche master. Qi Qingchuan and the others were moved. Generally speaking, a dual-elemental magic psychic was much more powerful than a single-elemental magic psychic. Fengzan's strength must be much stronger than the average 6th-stage saint-level psychic master. Qi Mufeng was a little disdainful. Su Chen was an all-element psychic master, and Fengzan was only a dual-element psychic. In front of Su Chen, she was a joke. After Fengzan released the dual-element magic, she suddenly put her hands together. The two types of magic in his hands fused together easily. At the same time, a violent wind and lightning magic fluctuation spread out. The wind and lightning magic merged. Seeing this, Qi Qingchuan and the others were stunned. It was the first time they saw magic of different elements merged together. Moreover, the merged magic exuded a terrifying power that made their breathing become abnormally heavy. At the same time, they began to worry for Su Chen. "Haha, Su Chen, now you know how powerful I am?" Fengzan let out a wild laugh. Chapter 1059. Interesting, but in my eyes you're still an ant. Su Chen smiled contemptuously and released his magic. Suddenly red, blue, and white rays of light blossomed in his palm. Tri-elemental magic. Su Chen was actually a tri-elemental psychic. Qi Qingchuan roared excitedly. He knew that Su Chen was a psychic, but he didn't expect Su Chen to be a tri-elemental psychic. Full-time cultivator. Tri-elemental psychic. Too monstrous. Feng Leihe was shocked. At the same time, a murderous intent quietly appeared in his heart. For a genius like Su Chen, if he couldn't be used for himself, he had to take the opportunity to destroy him. Otherwise, he would definitely threaten the Feng family. Why is he a tri-elemental psychic? Feng Zan kept shouting in his heart. All along, he had thought that no one could beat him in terms of talent as a psychic. But Su Chen's identity as a tri-elemental psychic gave him a heavy blow. It made him extremely unwilling and angry. Su Chen, don't be complacent. Even if you have tri-elemental magic, you're definitely not a match for fusion magic. I can still kill you. Feng Zan laughed sinisterly. Tri-elemental magic was very powerful, but in front of fusion magic, it couldn't withstand a single blow. He had absolute confidence that he could completely destroy Su Chen. Feng Zan is too arrogant. Qi Mufeng sneered in his heart. As early as when he was in the Elf continent, Su Chen could already fuse ice and fire magic. Feng Zan was still too young to compete with Su Chen in terms of talent in magic. You think you're the only one who can fuse magic? Su Chen stared at Feng Zan and smiled contemptuously. As soon as he finished speaking, the tri-elemental magic in his hand quickly fused together. Moreover, the power emitted far surpassed Feng Zan's dual magic by a large margin. Although he was only a level 5 saint, one level lower than Feng Zan. However, the tri-elemental magic had fused with the concretes, and the power was far beyond the same level. Plus, it was a tri-elemental fusion, so it was naturally more powerful than a dual elemental fusion. Oh my god! The fusion of 3 elements. Qi Qingchuan and the others were completely stunned. Qi Mufeng's expression also froze. He only knew that Su Chen had fused 2 types of magic, but he never thought that he could also fuse 3 types of magic. At this moment he roared in his heart. As expected of Su Chen, a peerless genius. How did he do it? Feng Leihe's eyes widened and he was stunned. Why? Feng Zan was completely dumbfounded. Although he was extremely unwilling, he had to admit that Su Chen's talent in magic was far beyond his own. Feng Zan, didn't you want to destroy me? Let's just touch it. Su Chen pursed his lips and raised his hand to release a tri-elemental fusion spell. In an instant, a terrifying wave of magic swept towards the phoenix hairpin. Feng Zan was so frightened that her whole body began to tremble violently. Although he knew that he was no match for Su Chen, he would not sit still and wait for death. I'll kill you. Feng Zan gritted her teeth and growled, and also threw out the dual magic in her hand. In the next moment, the magic of the 2 sides collided violently, making an earth-shattering explosion, and also creating a violent airflow. Qi Muxue and the other low-level people were blown to the left and right. Qi Qingchuan and the others were not too affected because of their higher cultivation. At this moment, they all looked towards the center of the explosion. Suddenly, a tricolored ball of light shot out from it and swept straight towards the phoenix hairpin. This tricolored ball of light was the fusion of Su Chen's tri-elemental magic. After destroying the dual magic of the phoenix hairpin, it obviously had the energy to continue to attack. Chapter 1060. Not good. Feng Leihe's expression changed drastically as he disappeared from the spot. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Feng Zan as he clenched his fist and punched forward. Feng Zan was only a Dharma psychic and definitely couldn't block Su Chen's 3 elemental magic attack. Of course, Feng Leihe wouldn't just watch Feng Zan be killed. There was a loud explosion. The 3 elemental magic balls that swept over were instantly torn apart under the impact of the huge force. Su Chen, it was just a spar, but you wanted to kill my Feng family's disciple. You must give me an explanation today. After defeating Su Chen's 3 elemental magic, Feng Leihe stared coldly at Su Chen and scolded. Qi Qingchuan and the others immediately felt indignant. Feng Zan was killed by Su Chen in a one-on-one duel because he wasn't strong enough. Moreover, Feng Zan kept saying that he wanted to destroy Su Chen. Even if he was killed by Su Chen, he only had himself to blame. Feng Leha had already broken the rules by helping. Now he even threatened Su Chen. He was simply shameless to the extreme. Give you an explanation? Who do you think you are? Su Chen snorted and then said coldly, "No one can stop me, Su Chen, from killing someone. If you dare to stop me, I'll eradicate your Feng family together." Eradicate my Feng family? Feng Leha was stunned for a moment as a flame of anger burned in his chest. The Feng family had stood in the void for thousands of years, and was the #1 force among the top 10 hidden families. There were as many saint-level powerhouses in the family as there were clouds. He himself was also a 7th-stage saint-level powerhouse. Moreover, he had the backing of the Black Cloud Fort. Su Chen actually dared to say that he would eradicate the Feng family. He was simply too arrogant. At this moment, Feng Leha secretly swore that he must use this opportunity to tear Su Chen into pieces. Qi Qingchuan and the others were stunned by Su Chen's words. Admittedly, Su Chen was very strong, but no matter how strong he was, he couldn't compete with the Feng family, right? These words were very likely to anger Feng Leha and bring about a fatal disaster. Su Chen, you want to eradicate my Feng family? Who the F***ck do you think you are? Do you have the ability? Feng Zan mocked mercilessly. Just now he was scared out of his wits. But now, seeing that Feng Lehi was backing him up, he instantly became fearless. Then I'll kill you first. Su Chen narrowed his eyes emitting a strong murderous aura. Boasting shamelessly. I want to see how you'll kill me. Feng Lehi stood in front of Feng Zan and sneered with disdain. As you wish. Suddenly, Su Chen's lips curled into a strange arc looking at Su Chen's expression. Feng Leha vaguely felt that something was wrong, but he didn't understand what was going on. He could only stare at Su Chen and be cautious. Ah! Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream reverberated in the air. Feng Leha's eyelids twitched as he quickly turned around. In his line of sight, he saw another Su Chen strangling Feng Zan's neck. To Su Chen. Feng Leha was a little stunned. After regaining his senses, he roared at Su Chen. Su Chen, let go of Feng Zan now, or I'll skin you alive. Crack. What answered him was the crisp sound of bones breaking. Under Su Chen's signal, the second primordial spirit broke Feng Zan's neck. What I hate the most in my life is others threatening me, and those who threaten me don't have a good ending. Su Chen looked at Feng Leha and said calmly. Su Chen, I want you dead. Feng Leha could no longer suppress the anger in his heart as he roared and charged towards Su Chen's body. Chapter 1061. Su Chen quickly used the Atlas shapeshifting technique. When his body rose to 10 feet, a terrifying aura spread out. 6th stage saint rank, Su Chen had advanced. Qi Qingchuan and the others were shocked. They clearly remembered that Su Chen was only a 4th stage saint rank during the Starry Sky Grand competition. After not seeing him for a few days, he had advanced again. This kind of advancement speed could only be described as terrifying. At the same time, they also realized that after advancing, Su Chen could definitely crush Feng Leha. Su Chen is too awesome, isn't he? Qi Mulei opened his mouth wide and couldn't close it for a long time. It wasn't until now that he realized why Su Chen didn't put the Feng family in his eyes. It turned out that he had already advanced. 6th stage saint rank? How did you do it? Feng Leha's forward momentum came to an abrupt stop as he looked at Su Chen in a daze. His face was filled with inexplicable horror. Before coming here, he had inquired about it clearly. After Su Chen transformed, he was at most a 5th stage saint rank. Knowing this, he dared to come and find trouble with Su Chen. If he had known that Su Chen had advanced, he wouldn't have come to ask for trouble even if he was beaten to death. How did I do it? Do I need to report to you? Su Chen curled his lips and said disdainfully. Feng Leha swallowed his saliva. Instead of being angry, he smiled embarrassedly. Su Chen, our Feng family has no grudges with you. It was a misunderstanding before. I will leave now. He had heard of Su Chen's powerful combat strength. During the Starry Sky Grand Competition, he killed 4 6th-stage Saint rank powerhouses with just the strength of a 5th-stage Saint rank. Therefore, killing enemies of a higher level was as simple as eating and drinking for Su Chen. And after Su Chen's promotion, he was only 1 level away from him. Even if he had the courage, he wouldn't dare to fight with Su Chen again. I just killed Fengzan. As the ancestor of the Feng clan, aren't you going to avenge him? Su Chen rubbed his nose and asked indifferently. Fengzan didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. She dared to compete with you. She deserved to be killed. Feng Leha gritted his teeth and said, "This old man is shameless to this extent in order to survive." Su Chen couldn't help but click his tongue. Qi Qingchuan and the others looked down on Feng Leha. Feng Leha was the ancestor of the Feng clan, a level 7 Saint Realm expert. However, he actually dared to say such words under the intimidation of Su Chen. It was simply an insult to a Saint-level expert, making everyone feel ashamed. Although your words sound nice, unfortunately, I won't let you go. Su Chen looked at Feng Leha and sighed. If you don't remove the roots when cutting the weeds, they will grow again when the spring breeze blows. If an expert like Feng Leha was left behind, it would be a disaster. Moreover, he didn't want to miss the chance to get a fragment. Therefore, Feng Leha must die. The corner of Feng Leha's mouth twitched and his face turned pale. With a slight change of mind, he turned and fled. He knew very well that he was definitely not a match for Su Chen. If he wanted to live, the only way was to escape. No one has been able to escape from my hands. Su Chen snorted coldly and chased after him together with the second primordial spirit. Although Feng Leha was a level 7 Saint Realm expert, he was far from being able to compete with Su Chen in terms of speed. Su Chen activated the extreme speed war boots and caught up to Feng Leha in a few breaths. Then he released his mental strength to restrict Feng Leha's movements. Su Chen, if you dare to kill me, the Black Cloud Fort will not let you go. Seeing that he couldn't escape, Feng Leha was scared out of his wits. He could only use the Black Cloud Fort to make Su Chen wary. If Xiaozhan doesn't know what's good for him, I'll kill him too. Su Chen sneered, and then used the 10,000 lights 10 shadows killing technique. In a series of explosions, Feng Leha was killed without a trace. Chapter 1062. What a terrifying killing move. It was Shang Chuishan's first time seeing Su Chen use the 10,000 lights 10 shadows killing technique. That kind of terrifying destructive power gave him a great shock. Su Chen's trump cards are endless. Qi Qingchuan was shocked and deeply sighed. Shang Fei and the others were so shocked that they couldn't recover for a long time. Su Chen's strength was far beyond their imagination. It was so easy to kill a stage 7 sacred level expert. They were all talented disciples of their families, but compared to Su Chen, they were simply trash. Qi Mushi in particular felt bitter in his heart. He still remembered that when Su Chen first came to the Void Fortress, he even took the initiative to challenge Su Chen. Now that he thought about it, he was like a joke at that time. Su Chen collected the fragments and merged his second primordial spirit into his body. Then he came to Qi Qingchuan and the others and asked, "Senior, the Void Secret Land is about to open. When shall we leave?" The Void Secret Land was too important, and they couldn't afford any delays. Qi Qingchuan came to his senses and quickly replied, "Why don't we leave now?" Su Chen had the same idea. Then he took out the intelligent war chariot and invited everyone to get on. Then, under Qi Qingchuan's guidance, the intelligent war chariot flew straight to the Void Secret Land. On the way, Qi Qingchuan came to Su Chen's side and whispered, "Su Chen, if we follow the original route to the Void Secret Land, I'm afraid we can't avoid Black Cloud Fort." Su Chen killed Feng Leha and Fengzan. With Xiaozhan's temper, he would definitely take revenge. And Black Cloud Fort was on the route to the Void Secret Land. If they didn't change the route, they would definitely encounter it. "Don't worry about it. Just follow the original route," Su Chen said casually. Once they changed the route, it would be troublesome if they delayed the opening of the Void Secret Land. As for Xiaozhan of Black Cloud Fort, he didn't even put an 8th stage Saint rank expert in his eyes. The remaining energy points were enough for him to reach the 6th stage of the Saint realm. Killing Xiaozhan would be a piece of cake. Of course, he didn't want to continue advancing so quickly. However, if Xiaozhan really came looking for trouble, there was nothing they could do. Seeing that Su Chen had made up his mind, Qi Qingchuan didn't say anything more. Behind them, Su Chen sat in the driver's seat and began to sort out the debris. Half an hour later, he finished sorting out the fragments. He then opened the planting dimension to observe the growth of the tree of life. When he saw that the tree of life had grown to a height of more than 10 meters, Su Chen's heart stirred. He asked the longevity fruit tree, Xiaoshou, can the tree of life produce life spirit liquid? Once he had the life spirit fluid, he could begin to revive the 5 thunder fruit tree and other spiritual plants. He was looking forward to it. The longevity fruit tree seemed to have guessed Su Chen's thoughts and said, Master, some life spirit liquid has been produced. I have already started watering the demon cores of the 5 thunder fruit tree and the other spiritual plants. I believe that they will be revived soon. Good. Su Chen was overjoyed. He then asked, how long will it take for the fruit to ripen? With the help of the time accelerator and the continuous supply of life spirit liquid, it will take about 2 months. The longevity fruit tree thought for a moment and replied, okay, I will take the time accelerator back. Su Chen replied. Previously, he had put the time accelerator in the pet-raising dimension to help the spiritual pets absorb the energy of the Kongming stone. Now that the Kongming stone had been used up, the spiritual pets had all successfully advanced. If the time accelerator was placed in the pet-raising dimension, it would become a decoration. Later, Su Chen placed the time accelerator in the planting dimension again. After chatting with the longevity fruit tree for a while, he closed the planting dimension. Chapter 1063. The Intelligent War Chariot flew for 5 days before a huge black fortress appeared not far ahead. It exuded a heavy and majestic aura. This fortress was the Black Cloud Fortress. When they arrived, Qi Qingchuan and the others in the chariot were a little nervous. Xiaozhan, the lord of the Black Cloud Fortress, was an 8th-stage Saint Stage expert. If he made a move, who could stop him? Su Chen glanced at the Black Cloud Fortress and no longer paid attention to it. It would be best if Xiaozhan didn't come looking for trouble. If he did, he would just level up and kill him. When the intelligent war chariot was infinitely close to the Black Cloud Fortress, the swift bird suddenly warned, Master, I feel that there are many powerful existences hidden in the Black Cloud Fortress. 8th-stage Saint Stage? Su Chen asked casually. The Black Cloud Fortress was a force even more powerful than the top 10 hidden families. It was reasonable for them to have many powerful experts. He wasn't surprised. Not only is there an 8th-stage Saint Stage myriad race cultivator, but there are also 5 8th-stage Saint Stage void beasts. The swift bird quickly said. There were also 5 8th-stage Saint Stage void beasts? Everyone in the chariot was inexplicably shocked. Even Su Chen was a little uneasy. There were so many 8th-stage Saint Stage void beasts that gave him a certain amount of pressure. However, what he couldn't understand wasn't the Black Cloud Fortress a force of the myriad race? Why would void beasts appear? Could it be that Xiaozhan and the void beasts had joined forces to eliminate him? While Su Chen was deep in thought, the swift bird reminded him again. Master, they are coming. Satoshi, lock onto them and transmit the image. Su Chen ordered and turned to look at the control screen. The image on the central control screen changed. Soon, a myriad races cultivator and 5 void beasts appeared. It's Xiaozhan. Qi Qingchuan's expression became incomparably solemn. Su Chen, let's hurry up and escape. Shang Chuishan said anxiously. The others were also terrified and looked at Su Chen. If 6 8th-stage Saint-level experts joined forces to attack, they would probably be crushed in a single exchange. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and said indifferently, all of you wait in the car. I'll go out and kill them. If he killed an 8th-stage Saint-level myriad races cultivator and 5 8th-stage Saint-level void beasts, he would be able to obtain a huge amount of fragments. If all of it was exchanged for energy points, it could even help him reach the 7th level of the Saint rank. He didn't want to miss this opportunity. What? Upon hearing this, Qi Qingchuan and the others were stunned. Su-Chen wanted to kill an 8th-stage saint-level expert, and he wanted to fight against 6 of them alone? Wasn't this a little too exaggerated? Su-Chen had only reached level 5 saint rank. Even after using the transformation technique, he was only level 6 saint rank. How could he possibly be a match for 6 8th level saint realm experts? Wasn't this like striking a rock with an egg? Su-Chen, you must stay calm. As long as there's life, there's hope. Qi Qingchuan hurriedly persuaded. He seriously suspected that Su-Chen didn't want to escape because he couldn't bring himself to lose face. An 8th-stage saint-level expert can't threaten me. Su-Chen didn't explain anything. He smiled faintly and opened the car door to get out. It's over. Seeing that Su-Chen didn't listen to his advice and insisted on going his own way, Qi Qingchuan's heart turned cold. He sighed deeply. After Su-Chen got out of the car, he directly opened the Doomsday Exchange store and spent 350,000 energy points to exchange for a level 17 all attributes fragment, raising his cultivation to level 6 saint rank. Then he stood in the void and quietly waited for Xiaozhan and the void beasts to arrive. Chapter 1064. After a few breaths, Xiaozhan and the 5 void beasts flew over with a monstrous murderous aura. When they were less than 20 meters away from Su-Chen, they all stopped. Su-Chen, you didn't run away. This is beyond my expectations. Xiaozhan stared at Su-Chen and laughed heartily. So, you are here to kill me? Su-Chen's face didn't change at all. He rubbed his nose and said calmly, of course we are here to kill you. Otherwise, why would we come all the way here? One of the void beasts admitted generously. Su-Chen, are you going to surrender? Or do you want to force us to attack? Another void beast stared at Su-Chen and shouted, it's impossible for me to surrender. But before we attack, I still have a few things that I don't understand and would like to ask you. Su-Chen curled his lips and said indifferently. Seeing Su-Chen so fearless, Xiaozhan and the 5 void beasts were a little confused. They were all at stage 8 of the saint level. Shouldn't Su-Chen be kneeling and begging for mercy and fear? Why was he so calm? It didn't make sense at all. Su-Chen, aren't you afraid of us? One of the void beasts asked doubtfully. You are no match for me. Why should I be afraid? Su-Chen smiled contemptuously. After advancing to stage 6 of the saint level, if he used the Atlas shapeshifting technique, he would be at stage 7 of the saint level. The other party was only 1 level higher than him. Killing enemies above his level was an extremely easy task for him. Haha. Xiaozhan and the 5 void beasts looked at each other, and then laughed unscrupulously. At this point, Su-Chen still dared to boast shamelessly. They suspected that Su-Chen was scared out of his wits. Su-Chen, you are indeed as arrogant as the rumors say. At this point, you still dare to speak so arrogantly. Do you believe that I will tear you apart right now? After a long time, Xiaozhan stopped laughing and coldly looked at Su-Chen as he mocked. Su-Chen's expression was still very calm. He questioned, Xiaozhan, as a cultivator of the myriad races, why are you hanging out with the void beasts? The cultivators of the myriad races and the void beasts were enemies. Once they encountered each other, they would basically kill each other. However, not only did Xiaozhan and the void beast not fight, they even seemed to be in a cooperative relationship. This made him feel very strange. Why would a person who is about to die know so much? Xiaozhan's face was full of disdain. It looked like he had Su-Chen in his grasp. Since you won't tell me, I'll beat you until you do. Su-Chen snorted coldly and his body suddenly rose. When he reached 30 meters, a violent aura spread out from his body. He had reached the 7th stage of the Saint Realm. 7th level Saint Realm. Xiaozhan's expression changed drastically as he cried out in shock. Isn't he a 6th level saint? The 5 void beasts also began to become restless. Before they came, they had received accurate information that Su-Chen was only a 6th level Saint Realm after using the transformation technique. How did he become a 7th level Saint Realm in just a few days? Could it be that he had advanced again? However, even the most monstrous genius couldn't advance in just a few days, right? Su-Chen advanced. Everyone on the intelligent war chariot was dumbfounded. When they came to their senses and confirmed that Su Chen had indeed advanced, they were immediately excited. Based on Su Chen's powerful combat strength, it should be very easy for him to deal with Xiao Zhan and the 5 void beasts at the 8th stage of the Saint Realm. In this way, the crisis was resolved. Chapter 1065. While Xiao Zhan and the 5 void beasts were in a daze, Su Chen quickly pulled out the enchanted divine saber and swept it at the 5 void beasts. Suddenly, a tricolored torrent with horrifying magical waves swept forward. At the same time, the 3 heavenly fires jumped up and merged with it in the blink of an eye. The combination of the 3 heavenly fires and the 3 types of magical spells gave off a destructive aura. What kind of divine power is this? Xiao Zhan's face changed color, and his body trembled. The 5 void beasts were scared out of their wits, and their eyes were filled with deep fear. As if they had foreseen that death was approaching, they all started to tremble. Su Chen has such a killer move. Qi Qingchuan and the others were also shocked. When they were in the Void Fortress, they had seen Su Chen use the 3 types of magical spells. However, the power back then was definitely not on the same level as now. The difference was at least a few times. In fact, it was easy to understand. When they were in the Void Fortress, Su Chen was only a stage 5 sacred level, and he didn't use the enchanted divine saber or merge the 3 heavenly fires. Naturally, the power was not comparable to now. Fight it out with him. In the face of the tricolored torrent, the 5 void beasts didn't wait for death. They roared and fought with their lives. In the next moment, the tricolored torrent rolled over. The 5 void beasts were all torn to pieces and died on the spot. That's terrifying. Witnessing this scene, Qi Qingchuan and the others all sucked in a cold breath. Su Chen killed 5 stage 8 sacred level void beasts with one move. The power of this move was earth-shattering, and it brought unprecedented shock to them. They even felt that even a 9th stage Saint rank expert would have a slim chance of survival against this attack. It was very likely that they would be killed by it. How can he be so powerful? Xiao Zhan swallowed hard, and the corners of his mouth kept trembling. Even the 5 8th level Saint ranked void beasts weren't Su Chen's match. In Su Chen's eyes, he was less than an ant. At this moment, his heart was filled with despair. Not bad. Su Chen heaved a sigh of relief and groaned. He was quite satisfied with the power of the 3 types of magic. In terms of might, it had already surpassed the 100 swords returned to 1, and had become his strongest trump card. In the past, there would be a short period of weakness when using this killer move. However, as his level continued to rise, this weakness no longer existed. After a while, Su Chen collected the fragments and turned to face Xiao Zhan. Can you tell me the truth now? After witnessing Su Chen's powerful strength, Xiao Zhan didn't dare to be stubborn and confessed. It was Heaven-Scattering Taoist who ordered me to do so. I was also forced to do so. Su Chen frowned slightly. It was normal for Heaven-Scattering Taoist to send someone to kill him. But why was Xiao Zhan and the Void Beast able to kill him together? Could it be that they had formed an alliance with the Void Beasts? However, all races and the Void Beasts were mortal enemies. If Heaven-Scattering Taoist really dared to do so, how could Wu Tsang forgive him? Not knowing what was going on, Su Chen asked, was it also arranged by Heaven-Scattering Taoist that you and the Void Beasts worked together to kill me? Yes. Xiao Zhan didn't hide anything and said directly. How did Heaven-Scattering Taoist order the Void Beasts? Su Chen continued to ask. I don't know. Xiao Zhan shook his head and explained. He never told me the reason for the things he arranged, and I didn't dare to ask. A trace of killing intent flashed across Su Chen's eyes. Since Xiao Zhan didn't know anything, it was useless to keep him alive. When he was about to take action, the swift bird suddenly reminded him in a hurry. Master, bad news, a stage 9 sacred level void beast is coming. Chapter 1066. Level 9 of the Holy Level. Su Chen's eyelids twitched. A void beast at level 9 of the Holy Level was enough to pose a threat to him. Hearing this, Xiao Zhan had an idea and then turned around to flee. He knew that most of the void beasts at level 9 of the Holy Level were sent here by Heaven-Scattering Taoist. Taking advantage of Su Chen's uneasiness, it was the best time to escape. However, before he could run far, an invisible force suddenly came at him, and he was immediately trapped in a swamp. What's going on? Xiao Zhan panicked and tried his best to tear the invisible force around him. When he was about to break free, Su Chen suddenly appeared in front of him. Outer body incarnation. Xiao Zhan was shocked. According to the news he had received, Su Chen had an incarnation with the same strength as his real body. The Su Chen in front of him must be his outer body incarnation. Thinking of Su Chen's horrible strength and cruel means, Xiao Zhan was scared out of his wits. At this moment, Su Chen's second primordial spirit played the drunken dream on Xiao Zhan. Then, while Xiao Zhan was in a daze, he smashed his head with his sword. After collecting the broken pieces, the second primordial spirit merged back into Su Chen's real body. Su Chen quickly exchanged all the broken pieces for energy points and checked them. When he found that the total number of energy points had reached 500,000, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. 500,000 energy points were just enough to exchange for a level 18 all attributes fragment. After he reached level 7 of the holy level, he would not be afraid of the void beast at level 9 of the holy level. Su Chen, let's run away. When they learned that the void beast at level 9 of the holy level was coming, Qi Qingchuan and the others were in a panic. Strictly speaking, Su Chen did not want to confront the void beast at level 9 of the holy level for the time being. After all, he had just reached a new level and his realm was not stable yet. If he continued to level up, it would be a great burden on his body. However, since Heaven Scattering Taoist had joined hands with the void beast, he would definitely send a large number of holy level experts to hunt him down. Even Heaven's loose Taoist might take action himself. Where could they escape to if they were to blindly escape? Could it be that he wanted to return to the continent? However, at the Saint rank, every increase in rank required a huge amount of energy points. If he returned to the continent, he definitely wouldn't be able to gather so many energy points, and he wouldn't be able to level up quickly. This was something that he absolutely did not wish to see. Therefore, if he had a choice, he wouldn't choose to run away. It didn't take long for the 9th stage Saint rank void beast to reach them. Haha. Su Chen, let's see where you can run to this time. The 9th stage Saint level void beast took a glance at Su Chen, then burst into laughter. Are you also sent by Heaven Scattering Taoist? Su Chen asked with a frown. Now he was a little suspicious. Did Wu Tsang lose control over Heaven Scattering Taoist? Because Wu Tsang once said that Tian San Taoist could only send people who were 2 levels higher than him to kill him. However, the void beast at level 9 of the holy level was already 3 levels higher than him. Haha. We are now in a partnership with Heaven Scattering Taoist, and we have reached an agreement that the first thing we will do is to kill you. The void beast at level 9 of the holy level grinned hideously. Heaven Scattering Taoist? Su Chen thought for a while, and his heart skipped a beat. Heaven Scattering Taoist must be Heaven Scattering Taoist, but why does he have this name? Has he reached the divine realm? Has Heaven Scattering Taoist reached the divine realm? Su Chen asked with a serious look. If Heaven Scattering Taoist really reached the divine realm, he would be in an extremely dangerous situation. Chapter 1067. A dying man doesn't need to know so much. The void beast at stage 9 of the holy level smiled grimly and rushed toward Su Chen. Su Chen didn't think too much and quickly opened the Doomsday Maul. When he was about to exchange for the level 18 all attribute fragment, an unparalleled pressure came down. A huge crack suddenly appeared in the void, and then a giant hand reached out from it and pressed down on the void beast at stage 9 of the holy level. Senior, spare my life. The void beast at stage 9 of the holy level trembled and roared loudly. Boom. With a loud sound, the void beast at stage 9 of the holy level was directly smashed into powder. The realm master took action in person. Qi Qingchuan and the others immediately became excited. Obviously, Wu Tsang took action in person to save Su Chen. From the beginning to the end, they never thought that the Realm Lord would actually help Su Chen. Senior, thank you for your help. Su Chen looked at somewhere in the starry sky and expressed his gratitude. Alas, A sigh suddenly rang in Su Chen's ears. Then, with a flash of crystal light in front of him, Wu Tsang appeared. You have reached stage 6 of the holy level. You are really a genius. Wu Tsang sighed with emotion when he saw Su Chen's cultivation at a glance. Then he shook his head and said, It's a pity that you don't have enough time to grow. Senior, what exactly happened? Su Chen's expression turned serious. What did he mean by don't have time to grow? It seemed that he was going to be killed soon. Wu Tsang sighed and explained. The heaven-scattering Taoist has reached the divine realm. Su Chen gasped. Although he had expected it, his heart still beat violently when he heard it from Wu Tsang. Now he understood why Wu Tsang said that he didn't have time to grow. Because the heaven-scattering Taoist had reached the divine realm, he ignored Wu Tsang's suppression and could attack him unscrupulously. However, there were 2 points that made him feel very strange. Wu Tsang once said that it would take at least 100 years for heaven-scattering Taoists to advance to the God realm. Then why did he advance so quickly? In addition, Wu Tsang had also warned him that once heaven-scattering Taoist reached the divine realm, he would even help heaven-scattering Taoist to kill him. Then why did he lend a hand now? Unable to figure out the situation, Su Chen asked, Senior, why did heaven-scattering Taoist advance so fast? He teamed up with the Void Beast to open a tunnel that connected to the Ferocious Beast. From the Ferocious Beast, he obtained the items he needed to level up. That's how he was able to reach the divine realm. Wu Tsang said solemnly. Ferocious Beast? Su Chen frowned slightly and probed. Senior, are the ferocious beasts very strong? The ferocious beasts are considered a foreign species. They are abnormally strong, even stronger than the myriad races, the void beasts, and the machine empire combined. Wu Tsang sighed faintly. More powerful than the 3 major forces combined? Su Chen smacked his lips. Wu Tsang took a deep breath and said, You should have heard of the Void War 10,000 years ago, right? Su Chen nodded. Rumor has it that the 3 major forces fought over a sacred weapon. He got this information from the gold-devouring beetles. He wasn't sure if this was the case. Wu Tsang shook his head and explained. The war 10,000 years ago was actually a war where the 3 major forces joined forces to defend against the ferocious beasts. What? Su Chen was shocked. The myriad races, the void beasts, and the machine empire had joined forces to fight against the ferocious beasts. However, they had suffered heavy losses and the machine empire had even been destroyed. This showed how strong the ferocious beasts were. Chapter 1068. Senior, Heaven's Loose Taoist and the others are willing to open the tunnel to the fierce beasts in order to reach the divine realm? Su Chen did not understand. Even if they reached the divine realm, wouldn't they be slaughtered if they let the fierce beasts in? Once they reach the divine realm, they can leave this world and enter a more vast world. Heaven's Loose Taoist and the others no longer care about the lives of thousands of creatures for their own selfish reasons. Wu Tsang sighed. In fact, there was one thing that he did not point out. The reason why Heaven's Loose Taoist and the Void Beast did this was mainly because they were afraid of Su Chen. Su Chen's speed of promotion was too fast. It could be expected that he would reach the divine realm in a few years. By then, Heaven's Loose Taoist and the Void Beast would be killed by Su Chen's vengeful style. In order to protect themselves, they opened the tunnel to the fierce beast's world in a frenzy. Another world? Su Chen pondered for a moment and probed. Senior, you're in a hurry to wait for someone to advance to the God realm. Is it also to enter another world? Last time when he communicated with Wu Tsang stammered and pretended to be mysterious and refused to say anything. Now he should tell the truth, right? You guessed right. Wu Tsang did not hide it this time and explained. I have been in this world for tens of thousands of years. I have long been tired of this life and yearned for the excitement of the outside world. Since Heaven's Loose Taoist has reached the divine realm, can you leave now? Su Chen asked confusedly. Wu Tsang shook his head and said with a wry smile. The reason why I have to wait for someone to reach the divine realm is to find someone who can protect the thousands of tribes before I leave. Heaven's Loose Taoist is obviously not suitable. I see. Su Chen suddenly understood. The divine realm was the strongest in this world, and could be regarded as the guardian. Both the thousands of tribes and the void beast had divine realm experts. Once the divine realm expert of one side left, the other side would inevitably be destroyed. In order to reach the divine realm, Heaven's loose Taoist opened the tunnel to the fierce beast's world and ignored thousands of creatures. Obviously, he could not be the guardian of the thousands of tribes. In that case, Wu Tsang would not be able to leave. Senior, will Heaven's scattering Taoist and the divine realm of the void beast come to kill me? Su Chen asked worriedly. Facing a deity realm expert, he didn't have the slightest room to resist. He could only return to the continent and hide. I can help you restrain them, but it won't be for long, at most half a year. They won't be able to do anything to you for half a year, but they can send their subordinates to kill you. There will be Saint level 9, or even Saint level 10, Wu Tsang said. Half a year, Su Chen whispered, but a glimmer of light flashed across his eyes. It would be difficult for him to reach the divine realm in half a year, but he was confident that he could reach the 10th stage of the Saint realm. At that time, deity realm experts would no longer be able to threaten him. If you don't have the confidence to reach level 10 Saint rank within half a year, I advise you to return to the continent as soon as possible. Wu Tsang reminded. Although Su Chen's cultivation talent was unprecedented, half a year's time was too short. He wasn't optimistic about Su Chen's chances of reaching the 10th stage of the Saint realm. Half a year's time is enough. Su Chen's voice was powerful. Wu Tsang was slightly stunned, but then he said with a smile, "Then I wish you an early breakthrough." Although he didn't understand why Su Chen was so confident, he was looking forward to it after hearing Su Chen's words. Then Wu Tsang continued, "Don't go to the Void Secret Land. They haven't received the message to kill you, so they will definitely ambush you there." Understood. Su Chen nodded heavily. "Well, I have to return as soon as possible. Take care of yourself." Wu Tsang sighed and disappeared in front of Su Chen in the blink of an eye. Chapter 1069. Su Chen stood there and pondered for a while. Then he quickly returned to the intelligent war chariot. "Su Chen, what should we do next?" Qi Qingchuan asked worriedly. They had heard the conversation between Wu Tsang and Su Chen, and they were very frightened at the moment. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and pondered. If they did not return to the mainland, there were two places they could go at the moment. The first was the Temple of Heaven, and the second was the Void Ruins. However, the Temple of Heaven might have God realm demonic beasts, and it was still very dangerous. Therefore, Su Chen decided to go to the Void Ruins first. "Let's go to Silent Sound Island first," Su Chen said slowly. The Void Ruins was located in a huge group of meteorites, and this group of meteorites was near Silent Sound Island. "Su Chen, is it appropriate to go to Silent Sound Island now?" Shang Chuishan said with a serious look. Silent Sound Island was an important stronghold of the Void Beasts. It was said that there were many Void Beasts at Stage 8 of the Sacred level guarding it. It would not matter if it was in normal times. The key was that Heaven's scattering Taoist was sending people to hunt them down. Once they entered Silent Sound Island, they would definitely fight. Wouldn't their whereabouts be exposed by then? "Don't worry. We are going to the meteorites near Silent Sound Island. We won't fight with the Void Beasts for the time being," Su Chen explained. Shang Chuishan and the others were relieved when they heard that. Later, under the guidance of Qi Mufeng, the intelligent war chariot flew straight to Silent Sound Island. Because they were worried that their whereabouts would be exposed, the intelligent war chariot would choose to take a detour when they encountered some strongholds of big forces along the way. It took a lot of time for them to arrive near Silent Sound Island after half a month. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and looked at the central control screen for a while. He saw a large number of void beasts around Silent Sound Island, and the security was very tight. "Satoshi, avoid their sight and find a suitable place to enter the meteorites." Su Chen withdrew his gaze and ordered the intelligent war chariot. "Yes." The intelligent war chariot searched for a while and flew straight towards a square. Unexpectedly, they hadn't flown far when the swift bird suddenly warned, "Master, the 8th phase Saint-ranked void beast from the Silent Sound Island is rapidly approaching us." Had he been discovered? Su Chen frowned slightly. the intelligent war chariot, was tens of thousands of miles away from Silent Sound Island. How did the other party discover his whereabouts? Satoshi, lock onto those 8-stage Saint Rank void beasts. Suchun ordered. He wanted to see if it was just a coincidence. Or was there some other way to lock onto his position? The image on the central control screen changed, and the figures of 3 void beasts soon appeared. Suchun found that one of the void beasts was holding an ancient bronze mirror. The bronze mirror clearly showed the location of the intelligent war chariot. I see. Suchun suddenly understood. The function of the bronze mirror was similar to the detection function of the intelligent war chariot. That was how the other party discovered their whereabouts. Moreover, Suchun saw clearly that the void beast holding the bronze mirror was Li Keqiuan. Last time, on the way back from the hidden spirit sect, one of Li Keqiuan's phantoms condensed a meteorite giant to kill him. Therefore, he still had a deep impression of Li Keqiuan. Reckless thing. Suchun narrowed his eyes and whispered. He originally planned to get rid of Li Keqiuan, but he didn't expect Li Keqiuan to take the initiative to come to him. Moreover, Li Keqiuan still had a bronze mirror that could detect their whereabouts. He had to destroy it. Otherwise, even if they entered the void ruins, their whereabouts would be exposed. Satoshi, stop. Suchun said. Chapter 1070. After the intelligent war chariot stopped, Suchun opened the door and walked out alone. Not long after, Li Keqiuan and the other 2 arrived. Haha. Suchun, let's see how you're going to escape this time. Li Keqiuan glanced at Suchun and laughed unscrupulously. When he fought with Suchun last time, he clearly knew that Suchun was only at the 6th stage of the saint level even after transforming. The 3 of them were all at the 8th stage of the saint level, so they thought they could defeat Suchun. You 3 trash want to kill me? Suchun curled his lips and smiled contemptuously. Then, under the gaze of Li Keqiuan and the other 2, he slowly drew out the enchanted divine saber. Li Keqiuan and the other 2 immediately became nervous. It was true that Suchun's cultivation was far inferior to theirs. But a person's reputation was like a tree's shadow. Since Suchun's debut, he had fought countless battles and had never lost. They had to be careful. At this moment, they were all vigilantly watching Suchun. But at this moment, a strange smile suddenly appeared on Suchun's lips. Li Keqiuan instinctively felt something was wrong. Before he could react, a terrifying space-tearing power suddenly came from behind. Sneak attack. Li Keqiuan and the other 2 quickly turned around, only to see a 30-meter-tall giant holding a pitch-black long sword slashing down from the sky. Then, a black vortex about 10 meters in size floated down from above their heads. Let's attack together. Li Keqiuan roared and took out a shield to block in front of him. The other 2 void beasts at the 8th stage of the saint level also used their own methods to attack the black vortex without hesitation. Boom. With a loud explosion, the black vortex was finally shattered by the combined efforts of the 3. However, Li Keqiuan and the other 2 were more or less injured. They looked very embarrassed. You've leveled up again? Li Keqiuan took a deep breath, looked at Suchun in bewilderment, and exclaimed. At this moment, he clearly sensed that Suchun was at the 7th stage of the saint level. The shock this brought to him was simply too great. After all, a few days ago, Suchun was clearly only a 6th level saint rank. This meant that Suchun had leveled up in an extremely short amount of time. This speed of advancement was a little too terrifying. What should we do? The other 2 8th stage saint rank void beasts panicked. They had also heard rumors about Suchun. It was rumored that Suchun could kill enemies above his level as easily as chopping vegetables. Currently, Suchun was only 1 level lower than them. Moreover, he had an avatar of the same level of strength. Didn't this mean that they would also be easily killed? Run! Li Keqiuan gritted his teeth and turned around to flee. He was well aware of Suchun's prowess. If they did not escape in time, only death would await them. The other 2 void beasts also turned and ran without hesitation. As expected of Suchun, he's able to scare 3 void beasts of the 8th level of the saint rank to this extent. Seeing this scene, Qi Qingchuan sighed deeply with emotion. Do you think you can escape? Suchin sneered. He had long been prepared for this. The moment Li Keqiuan and the other two ran away, he swept out the enchanted divine saber in his hand. All of a sudden, a three-colored torrent swept forward. 3 mystical fires also attached to it at the same time. What killing move is this? Li Keqiuan and the other two were scared out of their wits when they saw the 3-colored torrent with horrifying energy fluctuations rolling over. The next moment, 3 shrill screams sounded. Li Keqiuan and the other two were directly torn to pieces. Chapter 1071. Su Chen had just collected the fragments when the swift bird reminded him loudly again. Master, there's a large group of void beasts coming. There's even a stage 10 sage level beast. Stage 10 sage level. Su Chen's eyelids twitched. He quickly returned to the intelligent war chariot and ordered, Satoshi, enter the meteorite group immediately. A stage 10 sage level void beast was enough to pose a fatal threat to him. Therefore, he had to leave this place as soon as possible. The meteorite group's environment was very complicated, and there were many spatial turbulences. Although it was dangerous to enter, it wouldn't be easy for the other party to find him. The intelligent war chariot was also aware of the critical situation. It went at full speed and quickly rushed into the meteorite group. After that, the intelligent war chariot shuttled through the meteorite group for 3 days and successfully got rid of the void beast's pursuit. Su Chen opened the planting space and connected it to the 2 immortal element grasses. Little green, little blue, can you sense the exact location of the void ruins? When he looked at the star map, he could only confirm that the void ruins were in this meteorite group, but he didn't know the exact location. In the past 3 days, the intelligent war chariot had shuttled through many places, but it hadn't found any clues. It wouldn't do to continue searching aimlessly like this. Therefore, he placed his hopes on the 2 immortal element grasses. Master, I can faintly feel that something is calling me, Little Blue said seriously. Master, I feel it too, Little Qing chimed in. All right, you two lead the way. Let's go immediately. Su Chen was overjoyed. Later, under the guidance of the 2 immortal element grasses, the intelligent war chariot drove straight in a direction. A day later, the intelligent war chariot arrived at the location that the immortal element grasses had sensed. However, what appeared in front of them was a huge spatial vortex that looked like a black hole. The spatial vortex was emitting a power that even Su Chen felt his heart palpitate. Su Chen glanced at the spatial vortex and said to the 2 immortal element grasses, Is this the place that you sensed? Master, this spatial vortex is just a door. After passing through this door, we'll reach the place that I sensed, Little Blue explained. A door? Su Chen pondered for a moment and said to the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, can you travel through this space vortex? The intelligent war chariot had already been upgraded to level 14. Normal spatial turbulence, or even larger ones, would not be able to damage it. However, the spatial vortex in front of him was too terrifying. He wasn't sure if the intelligent war chariot could travel through it. Master, I'm still too weak now. If I can increase my level by 2, I'll be confident, the intelligent war chariot said. Hearing this, Su Chen's brows furrowed slightly. Intelligent war chariot's upgrade required a large amount of mechanical hearts. He only had a few pieces on him. It was not enough to upgrade the intelligent war chariot. As such, they would have to think of other ways to enter the void ruins. Su Chen, you're not going to enter this spatial vortex, are you? Qi Qingchuan asked worriedly. The spatial vortex in front of him contained unparalleled spatial power. In his opinion, even a stage 10 sage level expert would not be able to escape unscathed if he fell into it. Even if Su Chen used the transformation technique, he would at most be a stage 7 sage level expert. Once he entered the spatial vortex, he would definitely die. Su Chen did not want to take the risk, but he had to. Even heaven-scattering Taoist was so concerned about the void ruins. There must be a big secret hidden in it. He only had half a year's buffer time. He had to seize every opportunity to improve his strength. Therefore, he had to explore the void ruins. Chapter 1072. Su Chen nodded and said firmly, "We have to go in." Strictly speaking, his body was still stronger than the intelligent war chariot. If he used the Atlas shapeshifting technique and added a layer of mental strength defense on himself, he had a great chance of passing through the space vortex. Of course, to ensure that nothing went wrong, he planned to advance to stage 7 of the Saint level before entering. Hearing this, the expressions of Qi Qingchuan and the others changed. Su Chen actually intended to barge into the space vortex. Wasn't he afraid of death? Su Chen, do you want to reconsider? Qi Qingchuan persuaded. Su Chen smiled slightly. Don't worry, I have absolute confidence. After advancing to stage 7 of the Saint level, using the Atlas shapeshifting technique, he would be at stage 8 of the Saint level. In addition, he had the ancient Godfiend body, the help of mental strength, and the Xiantian armor. His defense power had completely surpassed stage 10 of the Saint level. If he didn't even dare to enter a space vortex, he might as well hide in the mainland. Once Su Chen decided on something, no one could change his mind. Knowing this, Qi Qingchuan didn't say anything more. After a while, Su Chen put the intelligent war chariot and everyone into the chaos space. Then he spent 500,000 energy points to exchange for a level 18 full attribute fragment and advanced to stage 7 of the Saint level before using the Atlas shapeshifting technique. When his body rose to 100 feet, he summoned the Xiantian armor and released his mental strength to attach to his body. After doing all this, he took a deep breath and stepped into the space vortex. Suddenly, the entire space vortex seemed to be boiling. Thousands of space blades swept towards Su Chen and instantly drowned Su Chen. Crack, crack, crack. The mental strength outside Su Chen's body was shredded like paper, and even the Xiantian armor had cracks. Fortunately, Su Chen was fast enough and rushed into the center of the space vortex in just a breath. Then the sky and earth spun. Su Chen wasn't shocked but overjoyed. He knew that this was a sign of teleportation. In other words, they would soon be able to enter the void ruins. In the next moment, when Su Chen's vision gradually became clear, he realized that he was in a vast and dense forest. Furthermore, he also discovered that there was a very strong bounded power here. At this moment, his cultivation was suppressed to level 10. However, he did not care about this at all. He was an invincible existence beneath the Saint level. Moreover, he had a group of spirit pets and many helpers. Even if he was in an unfamiliar environment, he would still be able to do whatever he wanted. After glancing around, Su Chen opened the chaos space, reported to everyone that he was safe, and then contacted the intelligent war chariot. Satoshi, search the surroundings and see if there are any cultivators around. The intelligent war chariot received the order and immediately started searching. Soon it replied. On a plain 10,000 miles away, a large number of cultivators were found. There are more than 10,000 of them. So many? Su Chen exclaimed softly. He did not expect that there would be so many people in the void ruins. After pondering for a while, he communicated with the two immortal essence grasses. Little blue, little green, this is the void ruins. Do you have any special senses? Master, I've sensed something very important, Little Qing immediately replied. Hearing this, Su Chen quickly took the two immortal essence grasses out of the planting space and asked, where is it exactly? Over there. Little Green pointed in a direction and said. Chapter 1073. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He took out the intelligent war chariot and instructed, Satoshi, explore the direction Little Qing pointed at. Master, the plane is in the direction she pointed at. The intelligent war chariot immediately replied. Su Chen raised his eyebrows. There were tens of thousands of cultivators gathered on the plane. Could it be that the important thing the immortal essence grass mentioned was on one of the cultivators? Su Chen had doubts in his heart, so he let the intelligent war chariot transmit the image to the central control screen. Then he said to Little Qing, take a look. Is the important thing here? Little Qing stared at the central control screen for a long time. Suddenly she said excitedly, Master, it's that jade pendant. Jade pendant? Su Chen whispered. He narrowed his eyes and scanned the central control screen. On a plain, there was a tall battle ring. A large number of cultivators had gathered around the battle ring. In the air above the arena, there was a huge yellow jade tablet. It was several meters in size, and it didn't seem to be complete. Could it be that these people are fighting for the jade pendant? Suchin secretly guessed. Then he said to the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, what's the highest cultivation level of these cultivators? Although he was sure that there was the power of the domain here, it was better to be safe than sorry. It was better to let the intelligent war chariot confirm it. The highest cultivation level is a level 10 cultivator. There are 527 of them. The intelligent war chariot immediately replied. Suchin nodded and continued to ask, are there any cultivators of the human clan? Yes. The intelligent war chariot replied and transmitted the location of the cultivators of the human clan to the central control screen. Suchin took a closer look and saw that there were only 40 to 50 people of the human clan. Compared to the other clans, they were too shabby. In the Great War 10,000 years ago, the human clan suffered heavy losses. Since then, they had not recovered and gradually became a weak race among the other clans. Unexpectedly, in the Void Ruins, the human clan was still weak. This made Suchin sigh a little. After catching his breath, he continued to ask, Satoshi, what's the level of the human clan's strongest cultivator? Only one level, 10 cultivator. The intelligent war chariot replied. Too weak. Suchin sighed. There were more than 500 level 10 cultivators on the plain, but there was only one human clan cultivator. It could be seen that the human clan here was in a more difficult situation than the human clan on the mainland. After a while, he put away the intelligent war chariot and the two immortal elemental grasses, and flew toward the plain. Since the immortal essence grass felt that the yellow jade token was something very important, he had to get it. As for the cultivators, their cultivators there. He was the cultivators of the human clan cultivators. Although there were more than 500 level 10 powerhouses on the other side, he had the ancient godfiend body. Even if he stood still, they would not be able to cause any damage to him. Half an hour later, Suchin appeared on the plain. Field ring field. Was. Ring Suchin was not in a hurry to snatch the jade token. He wanted to wait until he understood the situation. Standing in place, he scanned the area and found the location of the human clan. Then he walked straight forward. Hey, which tribe are you from? When Suchin walked into the human clan, a red-faced old man sized up Suchin and asked in puzzlement. He was the only level 10 cultivator among the human clan. The other human clan members also looked at Suchin at this time. The sudden appearance of an unfamiliar human clan member made them feel particularly strange. Chapter 1074. My name is Suchin. I've been living in the mountains since I was young. How should I address you? Suchin smiled and said. He had entered from the outside. Even if he said that, the old man wouldn't believe him. Hence, he found an excuse to fool him. I'm Chinchang. The red-faced old man nodded. There were hundreds of human tribes in the Void Relic, and some of them lived in the mountains. Hence, he didn't doubt what Suchin said. Old Chin, why are so many people gathered here? Suchin asked. Although he suspected that they were here to fight for the jade badge in the ring, he still wanted to confirm it. Hearing this, the surrounding humans all glared at Suchin, their eyes full of hostility. Chinchang was the most powerful human, and Suchin looked like he was in his 20s. Yet he kept calling him Old Chin. It was extremely disrespectful to a powerful human. Chinchang didn't care. He was just curious. The grand competition of the 10 tribes was a major competition that was held once every 10 years. It had existed in the Void Relic for thousands of years. Why didn't Suchin know about it? Suchin, you don't know about the grand competition of the 10 tribes? Chinchang probed. Grand competition of the 10 tribes? Suchin's heart jumped and he continued. I've been living in the mountains all year round. Hence, I don't know anything about the outside world. He had just entered the Void Relic today. What could he know? So, you're a country bumpkin who has never seen the outside world. The surrounding human clan immediately looked at Suchin with disdain. their eyes full of disdain. Oh, Chen Chang came to a realization. Then, he gave Suchen a brief introduction about the grand competition of the 10 tribes. The grand competition of the 10 tribes was held once every 10 years. The purpose was to fight for the God's Source Jade Badge, which was the yellow badge. Old Chen, what is the God's Source Jade Badge for? Suchen asked. The name of the God's Source Jade Badge didn't seem simple. Moreover, it was something that the immortal essence grass wanted. Hence, he was extremely interested in it. There are a total of 3 Divine Source Jade tokens. If you obtain one of them, you will be able to find the whereabouts of the other 2. Once you gather 3 of them, you'll be able to open a treasure vault. It's rumored that the treasure vault contains items that can help one advance to the deity realm. Chen Chang explained. Suchen was a little moved. There were very few things in the world that could help one advance to the divine realm, and they could only be chanced upon by luck. Even he was tempted by the offer. Moreover, he understood why Heaven's Loose Taoist was so concerned about the void relic. He must have known that there was an item that could help him advance to the divine state. Old Chen, how do we fight for the divine origin jade plate? Suchen calmed himself down and asked. That is very simple. You just need to defeat all your competitors in the arena. Chen Chang said casually. How do I find the other 2? Suchen asked calmly. He was determined to get the Divine Source Jade token on the arena. However, he had no idea how to find the other 2. As long as you get one of them, it will automatically lead you to the other 2. However, it's extremely difficult to gather all 3 of them. None of the winners in the past succeeded, and some even lost their lives. Chen Tong let out a sigh and explained. After figuring out what was going on, Suchen asked, when will the grand competition of the 10 tribes begin? Since he could obtain the Divine Source Jade token through a fair and square battle, it was not appropriate for him to not want to snatch it. It has already begun, Chen Tong said. It has begun? Suchen was stunned and asked curiously, why isn't there anyone in the arena? Chapter 1075. The grand competition of the 10 tribes will last for 10 days. Once you enter the arena, you will have to face endless challenges. No matter how powerful you are, you will not be able to withstand continuous challenges. Therefore, those who want to fight for the God's Source Jade token will only enter the arena on the last day, Chen Tong explained. Then I will be the first to enter the arena, Suchen said calmly. Time was too important to him. He did not want to waste it. The moment they heard this, all of the humans were dumbfounded. Listening to Suchen's words, he wanted to go up to the arena? However, no one from the human race had entered the arena since the grand competition of the 10 tribes began. The reason was simple. The human race was too weak. Entering the arena would be asking for humiliation. They might even lose their lives. They were here mainly to broaden their horizons. They did not even dare to think about entering the arena. Suchen, you want to enter the arena? Chen Chang asked after coming back to his senses. He thought that he had misheard. Or was Suchen joking with him? Yes. Suchen answered straightforwardly. Is this guy crazy? He came from the mountains. He must have never seen the cruelty of the arena. How can this guy be so stubborn? Even if he wants to die, he shouldn't be looking for trouble. Instantly, the surrounding humans began to discuss among themselves. They all thought that Suchen would definitely die if he entered the arena. Chen Chang swallowed his saliva and looked at Suchen. Suchen, although the God's Source Jade token is good, it is not something that we humans can get our hands on. Don't be rash. Those who dared to enter the arena were the elites of their respective races. They were definitely the most powerful among the level 10 experts. Suchen was only in his 20s. How high could his cultivation be? Once he entered the arena, he would probably be killed instantly. Don't worry. They are just a bunch of ants, Suchen said calmly. He was invincible among those of the same level. It was not wrong to treat them as ants. A bunch of ants? Chen Chang's eyes were wide open, and his expression was blank. The other humans were also dumbfounded. Originally, they only thought that Suchen was a little crazy. Who would have thought that Suchen was such an arrogant person? There were more than 10,000 foreign race cultivators present, and more than 500 level 10 cultivators. Su Chen actually treated them like ants? This pretentious act was too perverse. Su Chen, stop bragging. Do you know how powerful a level 10 practitioner is? Why are you trying to show off in front of us? A short and ugly man sneered. His name was Wang Dong, a level 6 cultivator. He was only 25 years old, and was known as the #1 genius of the human race here. Su Chen looked younger than him, so his cultivation was definitely not as high as his. However, Wang Dong was very disdainful and unhappy when he said those words so shamelessly. Su Chen, no one will stop you if you want to enter the arena to seek death. However, you have to remember that you are not only embarrassing yourself, but also the entire human race. So, you should go back to your deep mountains and forests. A level 8 middle-aged man reprimanded. Su Chen curled his lips and said to Chen Chong, "Old Chen, what punishment should a low-level cultivator receive for humiliating a high-level cultivator?" This world was a world of cultivators, and it was also a world where the strong were respected. The weak had to show a certain amount of respect to the strong. If they were humiliated in person, they would have to pay with their lives. Everyone present knew this, but what did Su Chen mean by suddenly popping out this sentence? Could it be that his cultivation was higher than level 8? However, Su Chen was too young. How could his cultivation be higher than level 8? Then why did he ask that? Su Chen, what level are you? Chen Chong was stunned for a moment before asking. Chapter 1076. Level 10. Su Chen said calmly. Although he had reached stage 7 of the sacred level, he was only at level 10 due to the suppression of the bounded domain. Level 10? Everyone present was stunned for a moment before bursting into laughter. Su Chen was only 20 years old. How dare he call himself a level 10 cultivator? Did he think they were fools? It was impossible for the human race to have such a genius. Even among all the races, no one could reach level 10 at this age. At this moment, everyone despised Su Chen. They had seen people who were pretentious, but they had never heard of anyone who was as pretentious as Su Chen. Su Chen, will you die if you don't pretend? If you are a level 10 cultivator, I'll give you my head. Wang Dong mocked loudly. Although Chen Chong did not say anything, his expression was a little ugly. He also did not think that Su Chen was a level 10 cultivator. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and looked at Wang Dong. He pursed his lips and said meaningfully, "Remember what you said. Don't regret it." "Regret your ass. UF** king. After being provoked by Su Chen, Wang Dong was instantly enraged. Just as he was about to curse, he felt a violent aura emanating from Su Chen's body. This aura was rising steadily and reached level 10 in the blink of an eye. The aura that was emanating was many times stronger than Chen Chang's. Sensing this, Wang Dong looked as if he had seen a ghost. He swallowed the words that were about to come out of his mouth. Level 10? Oh my god! Su Chen is a level 10 cultivator. How is this possible? Witnessing this scene, all the humans were instantly dumbfounded, and a tempestuous storm raged in their hearts. From the beginning to the end, they had never thought that Su Chen was really a level 10 cultivator. For a moment everyone was stunned. Su Chen rubbed his nose and looked at Wang Dong. He said mockingly, "Now it's time for you to fulfill your promise, right?" Ah. Wang Dong was stunned for a moment. When he came to his senses, his face turned pale. Just now, he had personally said that as long as Su Chen was a level 10 cultivator, he would twist his own head off. Now that Su Chen's identity as a level 10 cultivator was exposed, wouldn't that mean that he really had to twist his head off? However, he was the most outstanding genius of the human race. How could he be willing to die? Su Chen, I was just joking with you. Don't take it seriously, Wang Dong said in a trembling voice as he slowly hid behind Chen Chong. In his opinion, as a top genius of the human race, Chen Chong would definitely not sit by and do nothing. As expected, Chen Chong pleaded for leniency for Wang Dong. Su Chen, Wang Dong speaks without thinking. Don't lower yourself to his level. Su Chen ignored him and said with a light snort, Nobody can stop the people that I, Su Chen, want to kill. Wang Dong, if you don't kill yourself, I'll have to do it myself. Senior, save me. Wang Dong was about to wet his pants. He knew very well that if Su Chen insisted on killing him, only Chen Chong could save him. Chen Chong was in a difficult position. After all, Su Chen was a level 10 cultivator. Chen Chong originally did not want to interfere. However, Wang Dong was also a genius of the human race. It was very likely that he would advance to a level 10 cultivator. A level 10 cultivator meant too much to the human race. Therefore, Chen Chong could not sit by and do nothing. Su Chen, give me some face. Don't kill Wang Dong, Chen Chong said through gritted teeth. Su Chen curled his lips and said plainly, based on my character, those who mocked me should all die. I'm already giving you a lot of face by only killing Wang Dong. Already giving me a lot of face? Seeing that Su Chen was unwilling to let the matter rest, Chen Chong opened his mouth slightly and did not know what to say. Chapter 1077. Su Chen did not waste any more time. He released his mentality and pulled Wang Dong in front of him. Mentality? You're also a mentality reader? Chen Chong stared at Su Chen with his eyes wide open, his eyes filled with horror. The others were also shocked. Wang Dong's face turned green, and his body trembled. Judging from Su Chen's aura, he was definitely a level 10 evolver. But at this moment he used his mentality. This meant that Su Chen was a dual-profession cultivator who had reached level 10. But Su Chen was only 20 years old. How could he be dual-profession? And his cultivation was so high. Su Chen, Senior, don't kill me. Wang Dong begged for mercy. Under the restraint of Su Chen's mentality, he had completely lost the ability to resist. He could not even move a finger. He also knew that if he wanted to live, he could only beg for Su Chen's forgiveness. Su Chen was not moved. He reached out and grabbed Wang Dong's neck, squeezing gently. Crack. Wang Dong's head drooped, and his life force dissipated. Wang Dong is dead. Seeing Wang Dong die in front of them, a huge panic spread in the hearts of the rest of the humans. They had mocked Su Chen before. Would Su Chen let them go? With Su Chen's dual profession strength, even Chen Chong could not stop him if he insisted on killing. Su Chen threw away Wang Dong's body and looked around. Wherever his gaze landed, everyone was as silent as cicadas in winter, not even daring to breathe loudly. Su Chen's gaze finally landed on the level 8 middle-aged man. A strange smile slowly appeared on his face. Plop. Being glanced at by Su Chen, the level 8 middle-aged man's body turned cold. He knelt at Su Chen's feet and shouted, Senior, I was wrong. Please give me another chance. Su Chen snorted. Slap yourself 100 times and cripple your arms. Then you can live. Thank you, Senior. The level 8 middle-aged man was overjoyed. Although Su Chen's request was somewhat cruel, at least he could save his life. Pack, pack, pack. Soon he began to slap his own mouth. In order to satisfy Su Chen, he did not show any mercy. In the blink of an eye, the corner of his mouth was badly mutilated. Seeing that the other party was so tactful, Su Chen ignored him and walked straight towards the stage. Su Chen, you want to enter the arena now? Chen Chong asked in a trembling voice. Since Su Chen had 2 professions and had reached level 10, he definitely had the qualifications to enter the arena. But if he went up now, it would be too early. He would be continuously challenged. No matter how strong he was, he wouldn't be able to withstand it. Su Chen knew what Chen Chong meant. He smiled faintly. It's fine. They're just a bunch of ants. After saying that, he continued to walk towards the arena. Chen Chong was speechless for a moment and sighed deeply. No matter how strong a person was, it was impossible to stay in the arena for 10 days. In his opinion, Su Chen would definitely end up in a miserable state. He might even lose his life. When Su Chen walked into the arena, the surroundings suddenly quieted down. All the mutated tribe members stared at Su Chen with their eyes wide open. At this moment, they were all very confused. They didn't understand why this young human would want to enter the arena. Kid, what are you doing in the arena? One of the night demons couldn't hold it in any longer and shouted loudly. He didn't even think that Suchin wanted to enter the arena to participate in the competition, because the human race was too weak. The grand competition of the myriad tribes had been held for so many years, but no human had ever dared to participate. Moreover, it was the first day of the grand competition of the myriad tribes. It didn't make sense for him to enter the arena so early in the morning. To participate in the competition, of course. Suchin said calmly. Chapter 1078. Take part in the competition? Everyone was stunned when they heard that. A weak human dared to take part in the competition? What a joke this was. Human kid, do you think you're fit to take part in the competition? Why don't you look at yourself in the mirror? Who do you think you are? A titan sneered. Hurry up and get down. Don't embarrass yourself. Is the grand competition of the myriad tribes something you humans can take part in? Do you really think you're a nobody? The other races started to scold him as well. In their eyes, the human race had always been an ant-like existence. How dare he try to get his hands on the god source jade? Suchin narrowed his eyes and glanced down. He said indifferently, "In my eyes, you are not even comparable to ants. If anyone is not convinced, you can go up to the ring and challenge me. I will crush you with a finger." The moment he said that, the crowd fell silent. Then a wave of anger rose. Almost all of them were glaring at Suchin. Their eyes were filled with murderous intent. A weak human dared to mock everyone in the grand competition of the myriad tribes. This was no different from committing suicide. At this moment, all the other races were raring to go. They wanted to go up the arena and kill Suchin. What is Suchin trying to do? Chunchong, who was not far away, smacked his lips. His mind was in a mess. Indeed, Suchin was a level 10 cultivator with 2 professions. He had the right to go up the arena. However, there was no need for him to make enemies for himself. Mocking the cultivators of the myriad tribes in front of everyone. Wasn't that asking for death? Even a fake sage wouldn't dare to do that. Just as Chunchong was confused, Suchin spoke again. You bunch of trash. Does anyone dare to go up the arena? If not, I'll take the god's source jade. F***ck. He was too arrogant. He was too arrogant. This was intolerable. Instantly, a few of the other races were ready to go up the arena to teach Suchin a lesson. The titan who mocked Suchin was the first to go up the arena. Deng Xianggu from the Titan tribe is going up the arena. Suchin is in danger. Chen Chang's face froze as he secretly broke out in cold sweat for Suchin. Not only was Deng Xianggu a level 10 cultivator, but because he was from the Titan tribe, he was extremely strong. His individual combat power was in the top 100 among the myriad tribes. Even if Suchin was a dual-profession cultivator, he might not be Deng Xianggu's opponent. The level 8 middle-aged man, who had been slapping himself, slowly stopped when he saw Deng Xianggu enter the arena. A sinister smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. In his opinion, Suchin was Deng Xianggu's. Then why should he torture himself? Deng Xianggu is personally taking action. This human brat is dead for sure. Deng Xianggu is the second strongest warrior of the Titan race. I'm afraid he can crush that brat with one move. You. This is what you get for acting tough. The group of strange races treated Suchin as a dead man, constantly mocking and ridiculing him. Deng Xianggu walked up the arena. He was not in a hurry to attack. Instead, he looked at Suchin coldly and shouted, "Human, kneel down now. I'll consider leaving you with an intact corpse." In his opinion, it was too easy to kill Suchin. Before he killed him, he had to humiliate Suchin. Suchin curled his lips and said with disdain, "Your words might bring disaster to the Titan tribe. How dare you be so arrogant when you're about to die?" Deng Xianggu could no longer hold back the anger in his heart. He gritted his teeth and roared. Then he clenched his fist and smashed it down on Suchin. Chapter 1079. Suddenly, everyone's eyes fell on the ring. They all wanted to see how Suchin would be killed with one punch. Facing such a powerful punch, Suchin's face did not change at all. In fact, a look of disdain appeared on his face. Why isn't this kid dodging? Is he scared out of his wits? He's going to die sooner or later. Where else can he hide? Seeing that Suchin was still standing there, the crowd thought that Suchin was scared out of his wits. Go to hell. Deng Xianggu didn't think so much. He grinned and continued to punch Suchin with his fist. Just as he was about to touch Suchin, he suddenly felt an invisible force wrap around his body. Suddenly, it was as if he was stuck in a swamp. All his movements stopped. He was like a wooden stake, rooted to the ground. The sudden appearance of this situation made everyone puzzled. Deng Xianggu, hurry up and do it. What are you doing? After waiting for a while, seeing that Deng Xianggu was still not moving, some of the people could not help but urge him. At this moment, Deng Xianggu wanted to cry. Of course, he wanted to kill Suchin. However, he was now restrained and could not move. He had even lost the ability to speak. Realizing that Suchin was a powerful spirit reader master, he was scared out of his wits and regretted it so much that his intestines turned green. If he had known that Suchin was so powerful, he would not have been the first to stand up. Now his life was in the hands of Suchin. It could be said that if Suchin wanted to kill him, it would be no different from killing an ant. Do you still want to kill me now? Suchin walked in front of Deng Xianggu, squinted his eyes and said mockingly. Woo-woo. Deng Xianggu's eyes were filled with fear. He wanted to kneel at Suchin's feet and beg for mercy. However, his body was not under his control. Now you know fear? Unfortunately, it's too late. Suchin snorted and manipulated his spiritual power to stir Deng Xianggu's head. Then a loud bang was heard. Deng Xianggu's entire head exploded, turning into a bloody mist, floating on the arena. Hiss! Witnessing this scene, a series of intense gasps could be heard from the surroundings of the arena. Everyone was dumbfounded. Their eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. Deng Xianggu was actually killed? Moreover, he was killed without being able to resist? This was too strange. Wasn't this inconceivable? One had to know that Deng Xianggu was a super expert ranked in the top 100. How could he be instantly killed by a weak human? Suchin is so powerful. Qin Cheng's mouth was agape. He was shocked beyond words. At first, when Suchin walked onto the stage and started to draw aggro, he thought that Suchin was just courting death. Who would have thought that Suchin would be so powerful that he could easily kill Deng Xianggu of the Titan race? How could this be? The level 8 middle-aged man swallowed his saliva with difficulty. Just now he thought that Suchin was definitely going to die. Unexpectedly, not only did Suchin not die, but he also killed Deng Xianggu in an instant. After realizing how powerful Suchin was, he felt a chill down his spine. Without hesitation, he continued to slap himself harder than before. When did our human race have such a powerful existence? The other humans also sighed with emotion, looking at Suchin with eyes full of deep awe and incomparable worship. He is a powerful spirit reader. There were also experts among the mutated races present. They immediately recognized Suchin's identity as a spirit reader. Deng Xianggu's death was so strange. Only a spirit reader could do it. He is a spirit reader? When did the human race have such a strong expert? The mutated races around were not calm and started to discuss. Chapter 1080. Suchin collected the shards and glanced at the crowd. Is there anyone else who is not convinced? Kid, don't be too arrogant. Do you think you can show off in front of us just because you're a telekinesis master? The mutated races below the ring started to clamor. Suchin was indeed very strong, but no matter how strong he was, he could not be so arrogant, right? There were hundreds of level 10 cultivators below the ring, and many of them were stronger than Deng Xianggu. Suchin had only killed Deng Xianggu, and he thought he was invincible? However, even though there was a lot of cheering below the stage, there was still no one who went up the stage. After all, a telekinesis master's attack was very strange. Without absolute confidence, no one dared to take the risk. A bunch of trash. Suchin snorted and walked towards the God Source Jade. Since no one dares to go up the ring, I'll take the God Source Jade. Seeing this, The mutated races who had wanted to preserve their strength could no longer sit still. The god's source jade was very important. How could they just give it away? Human, don't be so arrogant. I'll take you on. Suddenly, a man from the Protoss race walked up the ring. Dai Yulin from the Protoss race has entered the ring. This human is definitely dead. The mutated races below the ring were instantly excited. Dai Yulin was known as the most powerful person in the Protoss race, and he was ranked third among the 10,000 races. Moreover, he was also a powerful telekinesis master. There were even rumors that Dai Yulin's true combat strength was infinitely close to the level of a false sage. A powerful person of this level could definitely kill Su Chun. Dai Yulin is actually going up the ring. Chen Chang's face turned serious again. Dai Yulin's strength had long been known among the 10,000 races. Not only was his strength close to that of a false sage, but he also had a high-level defensive armor on him. Even an evolver of the same level would not be able to break through the defense of this armor easily. In this way, Su Chen's chances of defeating Dai Yulin were very slim. Kid, you are indeed quite strong to be able to kill Deng Xianggu, but this is as far as you go. Dai Yulin glanced at Su Chen, his face full of contempt. You talk too much. Su Chen was not long-winded and directly released his spiritual force to crush Dai Yulin. Brat, don't look down on me. Dai Yulin also released his mental power at this moment. As an expert who was close to the false saint realm, he naturally would not show weakness. The two spiritual powers quickly collided. With a loud roar, the void began to distort. How can that human's mental strength be so strong? Seeing that Su Chen's spiritual power had not been defeated in one blow, there was a cry of surprise from below the ring, but it was soon drowned out by screams. Dai Yulin's mental power has been destroyed. A shattered wave appeared in front of Dai Yulin. This was caused by the collapse of her mental power. Oh my god! What kind of monster was this human brat? Witnessing this scene, no one could remain calm. One had to know that the god race was a race that cultivated extremely strong mental strength. Dai Yulin was a genius of the god race, and his mental strength was comparable to that of a false saint. Even so, he was still defeated by Su Chen. From this, it could be seen how strong Su Chen's mental strength was. Su Chen, good job. Chun Chang clenched his fists. After all, Su Chen was a human. Seeing Su Chen crush Dai Yulin, he also felt extremely excited. In the ring, Dai Yulin's face was filled with shock. He had not expected that his mental strength would be defeated. Facing the mental strength that swept over, he gritted his teeth and a golden armor suddenly appeared on his body. The golden light on it gathered and blocked Su Chen's mental strength. Chapter 1081. Seeing that Su Chen's spiritual power could not do anything to him, Dai Yulin let out a long sigh of relief. He faced Su Chen and snorted. Human, so what if your spiritual power is stronger than mine? Can you still kill me? Killing you is no different from killing an ant. Su Chen squinted his eyes and smiled contemptuously. Then he moved his feet and turned into a hurricane that went straight for Dai Yulin. He's also a level 10 evolver. Oh my god! A level 10 dual profession cultivator. Feeling the violent aura emitted from Su Chen's body, the people below the ring exclaimed. Everyone stared at Su Chen with their eyes wide open, their eyes full of shock. Dai Yulin was even more scared out of his wits. He wanted to escape immediately, but he also knew that Su Chen was too fast and would not give him a chance to escape. Now he could only count on his armor to block Su Chen's attack. In the next moment, Su Chen rushed in front of Dai Yulin and threw a punch. After that, a shrill sound of the air being torn apart filled the arena. What a terrifying punch. Below the ring, there were exclamations. Boom. Accompanied by an explosive sound, Su Chen's fist smashed heavily on Dai Yulin's body. Dai Yulin's entire body, together with the armor on his body, was blasted into pieces. Seeing this scene, the whole ring fell into a suffocating silence. Everyone was dumbfounded by what they had just seen. Some of the more cowardly people even started to tremble. Without a doubt, the shock that Su Chen's punch brought to them was unprecedented. It was only at this moment that they realized how terrifying Su Chen was. Not only was he a level 10 dual profession cultivator, but every profession was also far superior to those of the same level. This was especially true for evolvers, whose bodies and strength had reached an unimaginable level. Not only did this punch smash Daiyulin, but it also smashed the armor together. It was really too terrifying. The funny thing was that they were mocking Su Chen in all kinds of ways before. They thought that Su Chen was boasting shamelessly and was seeking his own death. Now it seemed that they were the joke. With the strength that Su Chen had displayed, he could be called the number one person among the 10,000 races. The human race is going to rise. Many of the mutated races secretly sighed. Although there were very few level 10 cultivators in the human race, as long as Su Chen was around, no one dared to look down. Rising was inevitable. Chen Chong also knew this. He was extremely excited, and his eyes were filled with an incomparably fiery glow. After collecting the fragments, Su Chen once again swept his gaze below the ring and shouted, "Who's the next challenger? Hurry up." This time, no one below the stage dared to clamor anymore. Su Chen's strength had already deeply. Whoever went up the ring to challenge Su Chen, it was no different from seeking death. Seeing that no one wanted to challenge him, Su Chen was not too happy. Now was the time to accumulate fragments to increase his strength. There were so many mutated races below. If he did not kill a single one, how could he be satisfied? Su Chen pondered for a while and said calmly, "I'll give you all one more chance. All of you can come at me together." Together? All the mutated races were stunned. When they came to their senses, everyone was furious. Indeed, Su Chen was very strong. He could be called the number one person among the 10,000 races. But he could not be so arrogant, right? One person challenging the 10,000 races. How much did he not see them as humans? Even a false sage expert would not dare to boast so shamelessly, right? Su Chen, you mustn't mess around. Chen Chong was even more shocked. He secretly prayed in his heart. In his opinion, Su Chen's words were not just seeking death. It was simply self-destruction. There were tens of thousands of mutated race cultivators present. If they attacked together, they would probably be able to crush Su Chen in one move. Chapter 1082. Are you outsiders all cowards? I want to challenge all of you, and you're still cowering? You're worse than trash. What's the point of living? In order to make them attack, Su Chen mocked them mercilessly. Instantly, all of the strange races were enraged. If it was a one-on-one battle, none of them would step forward. But Su Chen was too arrogant. He wanted to challenge all of them. If they still avoided the battle, how could they have the face to continue living? Attack together. Don't let him continue to be arrogant. Kill. Suddenly, more than a dozen top experts of the foreign races flew onto the stage, launching attacks at Su Chen in unison. Good timing. Seeing this, Su Chen was not afraid. Instead, he was excited. The strange races in front of him were all broken pieces. Can Su Chen do it? Seeing more than 10 elite cultivators surround and attack Su Chen, Chen Chong did not know how many times he was worried about Su Chen. At this time, the battle began. 7 of the strange races attacked Su Chen together. The rest were all Dharma psychics. They released all kinds of spells and attacked Su Chen from afar. In the face of such an overwhelming attack, could Su Chen still resist? Almost all of the strange races were certain that Su Chen would die. They shouted crazily, "Kill him." Too naive. Su Chen laughed condescendingly. He aimed at the strange races and raised his hand to release a Pegasus meteor punch. As for the spells that were flying towards him, he completely ignored them. All of a sudden, 100 golden fist shadows appeared in the air, each of them emitting a terrifying energy fluctuation. Secret fist technique. The moment the golden fist shadows appeared, the surroundings were filled with shocked screams. The 7 strange races that were charging towards Su Chen also stopped at this moment. Their eyes were filled with fear. Die. Su Chen did not give them a chance to react. He punched from afar. Amidst the fierce wind, 100 golden fist shadows smashed down. The 7 strange races were instantly drowned. Boom. 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 After 100 consecutive booms, countless holes of different sizes appeared on the arena. As for the 7 strange races, they had already been blasted to smithereens. It was also at this moment that the spells that flew towards Suchin hit his body one by one, but they all strangely bounced off. They did not even touch Suchin's skin. Witnessing this scene, everyone was in a daze. They looked at Suchin with eyes full of fear. Suchin killing 7 elite cultivators with one punch was already shocking enough. Who would have thought that he could ignore the spells? This was too strange, completely beyond their understanding. Suchin is so strong. Chun Chong swallowed his saliva and was in a daze. The few spiritual psychics regained their senses. Their hearts were cold. They looked at each other and retreated. They wanted to leave the stage as soon as possible. Since Suchin could ignore spell attacks, then these Dharma psychics were no different from ants. If Suchin wanted to kill them, he could crush them with one finger. You think you can escape? Suchin sneered. He moved his feet and disappeared from where he was like a ghost. In the next moment, there was a wave of screams from the stage. The few spiritual psychics could not resist and were killed by Suchin one by one. Who wants to kill me? Come on up. Suchin stood at the edge of the stage and looked down. The strange races below the stage kept quiet out of fear and avoided Suchin's gaze. Even though there were more than 10,000 of them, after seeing Suchin's undefeatable abilities, they did not have the slightest intention to fight back. It could be said that Suchin's strength had completely shocked them. Chapter 1083. Since you don't want to attack, then don't blame me for being impolite. Suchin narrowed his eyes as a murderous aura exuded from his body. Up until now, he had only killed less than 20 foreign tribesmen. The number of shards dropped was very limited, and it was not enough to satisfy his needs. Hence, he did not want to let any of these strange races off. What is the meaning of this? Could it be that he wants to kill all of us? The strange races below the stage were confused. When they came to their senses, a huge wave of fear spread through their hearts. If Suchin insisted on killing them, they would not be able to stop him. They might even be killed. Thinking of this, some of the strange races had already started to retreat. Suchin did not waste any more time. He took out the enchanted sword and swept it downwards. A 3-colored torrent shot out from it. The 3 mystical fires also jumped up. Suddenly, an extremely terrifying wave of magic spread out, giving people a feeling that it was going to destroy the heavens and earth. What kind of killer move was this? All of the strange races were scared out of their wits. When they came to their senses, they ran in all directions. Facing such a terrifying spell, they did not have any courage to fight back. Suchin is also a spell psychic? Why is his spell attack so powerful? Chun Chong was shocked to the extreme. Even though he was very far away, his heart was still filled with a sense of fear. The other strange races were even worse. Most of them had already fallen to the ground and were trembling uncontrollably. Ah! What followed was a wave of cries. When the 3-colored torrent swept past, those strange races who came into contact with it were instantly turned into dust. In the blink of an eye, thousands of strange races had died. The huge area below the arena had been completely reduced to a vacuum. There were no living creatures there at all. Gulp. Chun Chong gulped down a mouthful of saliva when he saw this, and even his breathing stopped. After killing thousands of strange races in one move, Suchin did not stop. He quickly opened the chaotic space and the pet-rearing space. He summoned all of his powerful cultivators and spiritual pets, following which he waved his hand and said, "Kill all the outsiders." Kill. Battle cries and shouts shook the heaven and earth, as all human beings and spirit pets rushed towards those non-humankind beings. So many level 10 cultivators and level 10 spiritual pets. Chun Chong was completely dumbfounded. Suchin did not participate in the pursuit. Whether it was Chi Mufeng and the others, or the Flaming Phoenix and the other spiritual pets, they were all saint-level masters. Even if it was suppressed to level 10, its strength was still far beyond those of the same level. None of the outsiders here were a match for him. It was only a matter of time before they were all slaughtered. Then he looked at the God Source Jade token. After looking at it for a while, he released his mental strength and took it into his hand. The moment he touched the Divine Source Jade token, a set of coordinates appeared in his mind. Faintly, it seemed to be guiding him to go faster. Could these coordinates be one of the locations of the other two God Source Jade tokens? Su Chen muttered to himself and walked to Chen Chang's side with the God Source Jade token in his hand. Since he was not sure, he still wanted to ask Chen Chang about it. Old Chen, how can I find the other two God Source Jade tokens? A set of coordinates should have appeared in your mind, right? Those coordinates are the key to finding the other two Abyss Jade tokens, Chen Chang explained. Oh. Su Chen nodded. After confirming, he kept the God Source Jade token in his storage bag and asked, Old Chen, where is the treasury? Once he gathered all the God Source Jade tokens, he could open the treasury. However, he did not know where the treasury was. Chapter 1084. When you gather 3 God Source Jade tokens, it will give you a new set of coordinates. That should be the location of the treasury. Chen Chang said with uncertainty. That was because until now, no one had managed to gather 3 Divine Source Jade tokens. Everything he knew was passed down from generation to generation. After figuring it out, Su Chen did not ask any more questions. He turned around and returned to the arena to collect the fragments. At this time, Qi Mufeng and the others were still chasing after the strange races. However, the screams were clearly not as intense as before, which meant that most of the foreign races had already been slaughtered. Half an hour later, when the last scream was heard, the entire arena was silent. Except for Su Chen and the other human beings and their spirit pets. Only Chen Chang and the other 40 to 50 human beings survived. Chen Chang sighed endlessly as he gazed at the foreign race corpses all over the ground, and his heart was unable to calm down for a long time. Even in his dreams, he would never have imagined that over 10,000 foreign race cultivators would be slaughtered by Su Chen and the others. On the other side, Su Chen collected the fragments and put away the spiritual pets and other people. The next step was to search for the other 2 God Source Jade tokens. Before he left, he called out to Chen Chang and left in the blink of an eye. He's finally gone. Chen Chang let out a long sigh. Although Su Chen was also a human, and he did not target them. However, Su Chen's aura was so strong that it made it hard for him to breathe. It wasn't until the moment Su Chen left that he felt his whole body relax. After Su Chen left, he went straight to the coordinates. About an hour later, he stopped in front of a lake. This lake was the location of the coordinates. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and looked at the lake. Suddenly, a huge whirlpool appeared in the middle of the lake. Immediately afterward, a white light shot out from it. After condensing, it turned into the appearance of an old man. The winner of the Divine Origin Jade token this time is actually a human? The old man sized up Su Chen and was quite surprised. How should I address you? Su Chen asked calmly. The mysterious old man's sudden appearance surprised him. However, when he sensed that the other party's aura was below level 10, he did not take it to heart. 10,000 years ago, the outside world called me Venerable Divine Source. The old man chuckled. 10,000 years ago? Su Chen's eyelids twitched. If the Venerable Xinyuan was in existence from 10,000 years ago, did that not mean that he had experienced the Great Void War? What about his strength? Had he reached the God Realm? On the same level as Wu Tsang? With doubts in his heart, Su Chen probed. Senior, did you survive the Void War? You know about the Void War? Did you enter from the outside? Venerable Xinyuan opened his mouth slightly, and he was shocked. None of the people who lived in the Void Ruins knew about the Void War. He had some suspicions. Did Su Chen enter from the outside world? However, if they wanted to enter this place, they had to pass through the spatial whirlpool. To pass through the spatial whirlpool alive, they had to be at least stage 10 of the sacred level. Su Chen looked like he was only 20 years old. How could he be at stage 10 of the sacred level? I entered from the outside. Su Chen did not hide anything and said directly. If that's the case, the 2 immortal essence grasses I left in the outside world are in your hands. Venerable Xinyuan muttered and asked. What's your name? What's your cultivation now? I'm Su Chen, stage 7 of the sacred level. Su Chen said respectfully. After all, Venerable Shinyuan was in existence from 10,000 years ago. Su Chen gave him enough respect. Chapter 1085. Only stage 7 of the holy level? Venerable Shinyuan clicked his tongue and looked at Su Chen as if he were a monster. Then he asked, "How did you get through the space whirlpool?" "I used some small tricks which are not worth mentioning." Su Chen smiled faintly. He would not expose his trump card before he figured out the opponent's background. Venerable Shinyuan was stunned for a moment and did not ask further. Everyone had their own secrets. If Su Chen did not want to tell him, there was no need for him to get to the bottom of it. "How is the situation outside?" Venerable Shinyuan took a breath and continued to ask. "Not good." Su Chen looked serious and told him what Wu Tsang had told him. "There is such a scum among the 10,000 clans." Hearing this, Venerable Shinyuan flew into a rage and cursed. He scolded Heaven-Scattering Taoist. "Senior, you should have participated in the last Void War, right?" Su Chen asked tentatively. The Void War was a battle where the 10,000 clans, the Void Beasts, and the Machine Empire joined forces to fight against the ominous beasts from the outer area. Since Venerable Shinyuan hated Heaven-Scattering Taoist's act of opening the channel to the ominous beasts, he also suspected it. "Yes, I did." Honorable Shinyuan nodded. He then sighed and said, "It is a pity that almost all of the godly state experts, including me, have died." Had he fallen? Su Chen frowned slightly. Since Venerable Shinyuan had died, was it possible that the one who talked to him was an incarnation? Venerable Shinyuan seemed to see Su Chen's doubts and explained. "Now, I am just a trace of the divine soul of the original body. I am just struggling at death's door." Oh. Su Chen suddenly understood. "Su Chen, how old are you?" Venerable Shinyuan asked. Su Chen looked like he was in his 20s, but his cultivation had reached stage 7 of the holy level. It was impossible for him to reach stage 7 of the holy level at this age. Therefore, Venerable Shinyuan suspected that Su Chen had taken something like the youth-retaining fruit. "About 20. Su Chen thought for a moment and replied. It had only been 3 years since he transmigrated to this world. At that time he was 17 years old. Now it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that he was 20. Is it really only 20? Venerable Shinyuan widened his eyes and he was shocked. Reaching the 7th level of the Saint Realm at the age of 20, such talent was unheard of and rarely seen in the world. After regaining his senses, Venerable Shinyuan was overjoyed. According to Su Chen's talent, if he advanced to Deity Realm, he would not need much time at all. Once Su Chen reached the Divine Realm, he could join forces with Wu Tsang to defeat the Heaven-Scattering Taoist and the Void Beast. Then he resealed the passage that connected to the beast. Su Chen, if you advance to the Divine Realm, do you have the confidence to deal with Heaven-Scattering Taoist? Venerable Shinyuan probed. As long as I advance to stage 10 of the Saint level, it will be easy for me to kill Heaven-Scattering Taoist. Su Chen promised. These words were not boastful at all. When he advanced to stage 10 of the Saint level, he could advance to Deity Realm by using the Atlas Up shapeshifting skill. With his strength, he was invincible among those at the same level. Killing Heaven-Scattering Taoist was no different from killing an ant. Hearing this, Venerable Shinyuan was stunned. Could a person at stage 10 of the Saint level kill Deity Realm? This was too boastful, wasn't it? However, Su Chen didn't look like he was joking. Could it be that he really had the ability to kill enemies at a higher level? Venerable Shinyuan was confused, but he didn't dwell on it. Because the most important thing now was to help Su Chen advance as soon as possible. Chapter 1086. Su Chen, you have to gather the 3 Divine Source Jade cards as soon as possible, Venerable Shinyuan said. Senior, what can I do after I gather all of them? Su Chen asked. Previously, he had heard from Chen Chong that he could open a treasury by gathering the Divine Source Jade cards. However, he didn't know what was in the treasury. Moreover, he couldn't completely believe that what Chen Chang said was true. Venerable Shenyuan didn't hide anything and explained, gathering the jade cards can open a secret realm. There are countless cultivation resources and various ores in the secret realm. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. Ordinary cultivation resources were useless to him, but his pets and other people could use them. In addition, if he had the mechanical heart, the intelligent chariot could be upgraded continuously, and it might even reach its final form. Senior, do you have the mechanical heart? Su Chen asked tentatively. Not a lot, only about 10,000 pieces, Venerable Shenyuan said calmly. 10,000 pieces? Su Chen was pleasantly surprised. Although he didn't know how much it would take to upgrade the intelligent chariot to its final form, 10,000 pieces were definitely more than enough. At this moment, Venerable Shenyuan spoke again. In addition to having a large amount of cultivation resources in the secret realm, the most important feature is that it can slow down the flow of time. Slow down the flow of time? Su Chen was a little confused. He stared at Venerable Shenyuan in a daze, waiting for his explanation. Venerable Shenyuan smiled faintly. To put it simply, 3 months outside is equivalent to 100 years in the secret realm. Really? Su Chen was completely stunned. If he really had 100 years as a buffer, even if he didn't have any energy points, he was confident that he could reach stage 10 of the sacred level. In addition, Wu Yazi and the others could also forge 5,000 holy swords. In addition, the 5 thunder fruit tree and other spiritual plants could continue to grow. His pets and other people could continuously improve their cultivation. The awakened divine beasts that were already at a high level could even reach the divine realm. It was no exaggeration to say that as long as he had 100 years as a buffer, at that time he was confident that he could kill all the ferocious beasts, not to mention the heaven-scattering Taoist. It's definitely true, Venerable Shenyuan promised. Then he added, but everyone only has one chance. One chance was more than enough for Su Chen. After calming himself down, he asked, Senior, where are the other 2 God-source jade tokens? One is in the void secret realm, and the other is in the sky altar. Venerable Shenyuan said truthfully. Su Chen was slightly stunned. Originally, he wanted to go to these 2 places. Who would have thought that the divine source jade token would be in these 2 places? It was as if it was the will of the heavens. However, you must remember one thing. Once you enter these 2 places, you will be suppressed by the power of the bounded domain. There will also be a certain amount of danger, Venerable Shenyuan reminded him. Su Chen did not take it to heart and asked, Senior, I heard that there is a divine beast in the heaven altar Huanyu? Is it true? The main purpose of asking the divine beast was to awaken the divine beast. This was because if an awakened divine beast wanted to quickly advance to the divine realm, the best shortcut was to devour a divine beast. Yes. Venerable Shenyuan nodded and continued, but don't worry. That divine beast was fatally injured in the last void battle. It should have died long ago. After figuring out the specific situation, Su Chen did not want to waste any more time. He said to Venerable Shenyuan, Senior, I want to go to the void secret realm immediately. Chapter 1087. All right, I'll arrange for you to enter now. Then he waved his hand, and a door of light appeared in front of him. Senior, how do I get back here after I get the second God Source Jade token? Su Chen asked before entering. Venerable Shenyuan smiled. When you get the second God Source Jade token, he'll bring you back here automatically. After getting Venerable Shenyuan's reply, Su Chen relaxed and stepped into the door of light. After a moment of dizziness, when his vision gradually cleared, Su Chen realized that he was in the middle of a mountain range. Thick trees stood in the surroundings, each of them hundreds of meters tall, covering the sky and the sun. Not far away, there were occasional cries of wild beasts. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and looked around. Then he opened the planting space and communicated with the 2 immortal essence grasses. Little Blue, can you feel the location of the God Source Jade token? Master, I can feel it. It's right there, Little Blue said as he pointed in a direction. You lead the way. We'll go there immediately. Su Chen instructed. Then he took out the intelligent war chariot and entered it. Behind him, the intelligent war chariot flew in the direction that the immortal essence grasses had pointed. Along the way, Su Chen asked the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, search around. Are there any void beasts around? It was now the day that the void secret land opened. Apart from himself, no one else from the myriad tribes would participate. However, there would definitely be a large number of people from the void beast side. If they encountered one, they could get rid of it and accumulate some fragments. Master, there are a large number of void beasts 10,000 miles ahead. There are about 100 of them, the intelligent war chariot immediately replied. Hearing this, Su Chen's eyes lit up. 100 void beasts did not seem like a lot. However, those that could enter the void secret land were definitely at the sage level. If all of them were killed, the fragments that would drop would not be less than 1 million. If exchanged for energy points, it would be 1 million. Adding the ones that he had obtained from the void ruins, the total number of energy points would reach 1,200,000. Exchanging for a level 19 full attribute fragment only costs 700,000 energy points. In this way, he would be able to smoothly advance to the 8th stage saint rank, and would still have 500,000 energy points left. Satoshi, lock onto them and head over immediately, Su Chen ordered. Yes. The intelligent war chariot started moving at full speed. Just as he was about to approach the group of void beasts, the swift bird suddenly warned. Master, I sense a lot of precious ores, and there's also a dangerous aura. Where is it? Su Chen asked. If there was something good, of course, he couldn't miss it. As for those dangerous auras, he directly ignored them. In the void secret realm, there was also the power of the bounded domain. The highest cultivation level was only level 10. At the same level, no one would be able to threaten him. A place not far from the group of void beasts, the swift bird replied. Su Chen immediately thought that this group of void beasts must have come for the precious ores. However, since he had encountered them, all the good things would belong to him. 5 minutes later, the intelligent war chariot flew in front of the void beasts. Behind this group of void beasts, there was a huge black castle that emitted a majestic aura. Su Chen glanced outside, opened the door, and walked out casually. Chapter 1088. Seeing a human suddenly appear in front of them, all the void beasts were stunned. Previously, they had received news that no one from the myriad tribes would enter the void secret realm. Then how did this human in front of them appear here? It's Su Chen of the human race. Suddenly, someone among the void beasts roared in shock. There were more than 100 void beasts here, and some of them had seen Su Chen before. What? He's Su Chen. Instantly, the void beasts were filled with a layer of fear. A person's reputation was like a tree's shadow. Su Chen's name was like thunder to their ears. Naturally, they had heard of him. It was rumored that Su Chen was abnormally strong and fearless. He had been in the void for less than a year, but he had already killed dozens of saint-level powerhouses. Until now, no one had been able to suppress him. Moreover, Su Chen had a special hatred for the void beasts. What was his purpose for appearing here now? Would he attack them? Su Chen, why are you here? A tall void beast stared at Su Chen warily and asked loudly. To enter the void secret realm, one had to enter from a specific entrance. Whether it was the void beasts or the myriad tribes, they all had powerhouses above stage 9 saint level. Their purpose was to prevent Su Chen from entering here. With the ability of a stage 9 saint level powerhouse, it was impossible for Su Chen to sneak in under their noses. Then how did Su Chen enter? Do you have the right to know how I got here? Su Chen curled his lips and said disdainfully. Su Chen, don't be too arrogant. At this moment, a short void beast walked up and glared at Su Chen. He sneered and said, This is the void secret realm, not the void. Do you think one person is a match for us? The other void beasts also came to their senses. In this place, they could only use the strength of level 10 at most. Even if Su Chen's cultivation was higher, he would only be the same as them. On the other hand, they had 100 people. With 100 people against Su Chen, what was there to be afraid of? Su Chen, are you here to die? Thinking of this, all the void beasts became fearless. Some void beasts even began to clamor at Su Chen. I'm here to kill you, because in my eyes, all of you are ants. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and said indifferently, shameless boasting. Arrogant. Instantly, all the void beasts began to curse. Su Chen's arrogance infuriated them. Everyone's eyes were filled with bloodlust. It looked as if it wanted to tear Su Chen apart. 3 of the stronger void beasts looked at each other, and then charged toward Su Chen. Killing Su Chen would definitely be a great achievement. In their opinion, even if the 3 of them couldn't kill Su Chen, suppressing Su Chen wouldn't be a problem. You're overestimating yourselves. Su Chen sneered and instantly released his mind power. The 3 void beasts that charged towards Su Chen immediately fell into a swamp, and all their movements became sluggish. Why is your mind power so strong? One of the void beast's eyes was filled with fear as he roared. He really couldn't understand how Su Chen's mind power could easily crush the 3 of them when they were all level 10. Because you're all trash. Su Chen sneered. He moved his feet and appeared in front of the void beast that spoke like a ghost. Then he threw a punch. There was a loud boom. The void beast was blasted into smithereens. Chapter 1089. Hiss. Witnessing this scene, the surrounding void beasts sucked in a breath of cold air. All the void beasts stared at Su Chen with their eyes wide open. Their eyes were filled with horror. At first, they thought that they could crush Su Chen at the same level. Who would have thought that Su Chen was still so strong at the same level? Su Chen did not stop after killing 1 void beast. He quickly attacked and killed the other 2 void beasts. Seeing Su Chen kill 3 powerhouses like a rabbit, all the void beasts began to panic. Although they had an absolute advantage in terms of numbers, Su Chen was too strong. Killing them was really no different from crushing ants. They could not summon the slightest bit of courage to resist. Soon, some void beasts had the thought of escaping. Once this thought appeared, it could no longer be suppressed. When the first void beast turned around and fled, the other void beasts followed suit. Su Chen's goal was to catch them all in one fell swoop. How could he let them escape? The next moment he pulled out the enchanted divine saber. He slashed in the air, and a 3-colored torrent surged out. An extremely terrifying magic wave swept forward. Accompanied by a series of shrill screams, 70 to 80 void beasts were directly crushed. The remaining 20 were all seriously injured, and had lost the ability to escape. Su Chen put away the enchanted divine saber, and slowly walked towards them. Su Chen, spare our lives. A void beast knelt at Su Chen's feet and begged for mercy loudly. Su Chen's terrifying strength had already scared him out of his wits. Su Chen glanced at him as if he was looking at a fool. Then he punched out and exploded his head. Su Chen, our godly state powerhouses won't let you off. The other void beasts knew that they could not survive, and began to curse at Su Chen. Sooner or later, your void beast race will be completely wiped out. Su Chen snorted coldly. He continued to attack and killed all the remaining void beasts. After collecting the fragments, his gaze landed on the Black Castle not far away. Swiftbird had said that there were many top-grade ores in Black Castle. Since he had encountered it, he naturally could not miss this opportunity. After a while, he arrived at the gate of the castle. At this time, the city gate was tightly shut, and there was a layer of energy halo flowing above it. It should be a formation. Su Chen didn't know much about arrays. After a quick glance, he threw a punch at the city gate. Accompanied by a violent rumble, the entire castle began to tremble. However, the defense of the city gate was still very strong. Su Chen's punch did not injure him at all. Interesting. Su Chen curled his lips and silently ran the heaven-reaching 100-fold vigorous technique. Just as he was about to throw a second punch, an angry roar came from within the castle. You want to enter the emptiness castle without the bloodline of a void beast. Do you want to die? Hearing this, Su Chen's thoughts slowly turned. From the other party's tone, this emptiness castle should be something left behind by a void beast almighty. It could even be a godly state void beast. Something left behind by a godly state existence would definitely not be simple. Thinking of this, Suchin said coldly, "Open the city gate, or I'll destroy the emptiness castle." Haha. You a weak human. Want to destroy the emptiness castle? Will you die if you don't show off? A mocking voice came from within the emptiness castle. Suchin rubbed his nose and did not say much. He threw a punch at the city gate. There was a loud rumble. The entire city gate was directly smashed into pieces, and a large part of the surrounding walls collapsed. Chapter 1090. Why is your strength so great? There was an exclamation from the All-Emptiness Castle. One must know that the All-Emptiness Castle itself was also a sacred tool, and its defensive power was very strong. Even if a sacred tool was used, it might not be destroyed. As for Suchin, he could smash the city gate with a simple punch. From this, it could be seen how terrifying his strength was. Suchin didn't pay attention to it, glanced at the All-Emptiness Castle, and walked straight in. As soon as he entered, the first thing he saw was a hall exuding an ancient aura. Inside the hall, there was only a void beast phantom standing in it. Apart from that, there was nothing else. Who are you? Suchin narrowed his eyes, glanced at the void beast phantom, and asked in a loud voice. The void beast phantom snorted coldly, ignoring Suchin's words, and then smiled gloomily. You broke my all-emptiness castle. How are you going to compensate? Compensation? Suchin pinched his chin and said lightly, "What if I don't compensate?" Hee hee. The void beast silhouette sneered and suddenly flicked its finger. The next moment, four beams of light appeared around the hall, and after solidifying, four ugly puppets appeared. And each puppet exuded an unusually powerful aura, which had reached the level of pseudo-sacred. And Suchin let out a soft cry. The void secret realm clearly had the power of a domain. Why did these puppets have the cultivation base of a pseudo-sacred? Suddenly he thought of the Moonshine City. At the auction in the Moonshine City, the sacred tree of the elf race was not suppressed by the power of the domain. The All-Emptiness Castle obviously had similar functions as the Moonshine City. Although a little surprised, Suchin didn't care. The other party wanted to suppress him with 4 pseudo-sacred puppets. The idea was a bit too naive. Boy, if you don't give enough compensation today, don't even think about taking a step out of here. The void beast phantom sneered. Seeing Suchin in a daze, he thought that Suchin was scared silly. Don't worry, I won't leave until I give you a layer of skin, Suchin said calmly. There were definitely many top-grade ores hidden in the myriad emptiness castle. If he did not take all of them away, he would not give up. Seeing Suchin so fearless, the void beast phantom was taken aback for a moment. It asked doubtfully, "You're not afraid?" No matter how strong Suchin was, he was only a level 10 cultivator. How could he be so calm in the face of 4 pseudo-saint level puppets? He couldn't understand this at all. These puppets are no different from trash in my eyes. Why should I be afraid? Suchin smiled faintly. Shameless boasting. The void beast snorted and pointed at one of the false holy puppets, ordering, "Take this human down. I want him alive." Yes. The false holy puppet responded and rushed towards Suchin. Scram. Suchin snorted coldly and suddenly punched out. The false holy puppet did not back down. It clenched its fist and fought Suchin head-on. There was a loud bang. The false holy puppet was like a piece of paper, and was directly smashed into pieces by Suchin's punch. How could this be? Seeing this scene, the void beast phantom's eyes widened, and its scalp went numb. He really couldn't understand why a false holy puppet couldn't even withstand a punch from Suchin. Were the levels just decorations? Just as the void beast phantom was in a daze, Suchin moved and rushed towards the remaining 3 false holy puppets. Bang, bang, bang. There were 3 consecutive explosions, and the 3 false holy puppets were all killed without exception. Chapter 1091. Seeing this, the void beast was completely dumbfounded. He had never seen such a terrifying human cultivator before. He could easily kill 4 false sacred puppets even though they were 1 level lower. He was so powerful that he could only be described as terrifying. Do you still want to take me down? Suchin narrowed his eyes and looked coldly at the void beast's shadow. A mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Gulp. The void beast swallowed his saliva and smiled bitterly. I admit defeat. His biggest reliance was the 4 false sacred puppets. After losing the 4 false sacred puppets, his cultivation was not even at level 10. He was even less than an ant in Suchen's eyes. What could he use to fight with Suchen? Tell me about your origin, Suchen said. He suspected that the void beast's original body had also participated in the Void War. My name is Emperor of Emptiness. I was originally a godly state expert, but unfortunately, I fell in the last Void War. Only a wisp of my divine soul is left, the void beast said with a sigh. As expected. Suchen said to himself. Then he said, since you participated in the Void War, hand over all the ores. I won't make things difficult for you. The Void War 10,000 years ago was a battle with the ferocious beasts from the outer region. Anyone who participated in this battle was worthy of respect. Even if the other party was a void beast, he did not intend to attack. Human, the cultivation resources I have here are for the Void Beast clan. As a member of the myriad tribes, you should go to the venerable God source. Emperor of Emptiness explained. Suchen's face darkened. He snorted. Your Void Beast clan has teamed up with Heaven's Loose Taoist and opened the channel to the ferocious beasts. You still want to leave them cultivation resources? What? Emperor of Emptiness was extremely surprised and furious. In the Void War 10,000 years ago, in order to stop the ferocious beasts from entering, the godly state experts fought to the point of death. Now his clansmen would take the initiative to open the channel and let the void beasts in? Once the ferocious beasts were let in, it would be a disaster. How could his clansmen be so stupid? Myriad Sky Emperor did not believe Suchen's words and said coldly, Human, are you trying to cheat me of my cultivation resources? That's why you said that? Do I need to lie to you? Suchen's face darkened. He did not intend to continue explaining. He said coldly, I'll give you one last chance. Hand over the thing, or I'll tear down your Myriad Emptiness castle. Myriad Sky Great Emperor was shocked. He had witnessed Suchen's strength with his own eyes. If he was angry, he could indeed tear down the Myriad Empty castle. The Emptiness Great Emperor sighed helplessly. He took out a storage bag and threw it to Suchen. When Suchen opened it, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but rise. Not only were there a large number of top-grade ores in the storage bag, but there were also many spirit fruits and dozens of sacred weapons, which made him very satisfied. After getting the items, Suchen didn't stay any longer and quickly left. As soon as he returned to the intelligent war chariot, he ordered, Satoshi, head to the original target. The main purpose of coming here was to find the second divine source jade token. He didn't want to waste any more time. Yes. The intelligent war chariot received the order and flew straight in a direction. A day later, the intelligent war chariot came to a stop above a valley. The immortal essence grass could clearly sense that the second divine source jade token was in the valley. However, this valley looked ordinary, but it was surrounded by a defensive barrier. If one wanted to enter, they had to first shatter it. Chapter 1092. Just as Suchen was about to attack, a crack appeared in the defense shield. Then a man's voice came from inside. If you want to get the God Source Jade token, come in. Suchen did not think too much about it. He kept the intelligent war chariot and flew into the valley. The area in the valley was not very big. It was barren all around and looked a little desolate. In the middle of the valley, there was a 3-meter-tall shadow. He exuded a majestic aura. Judging from his aura, he was a false sage. Moreover, Suchen noticed that there was a huge jade token hanging behind the shadow. It was the God Source Jade token. It's a human. The candidates chosen by the Honorable God Source are getting worse and worse. The shadow sized up Suchen, shook his head and sighed. He seemed to be very disappointed with Suchen's appearance. He did not take Suchin seriously at all. How should I address you? Suchin rubbed his nose and walked forward slowly. I am a heavenly patrol guard, the shadow replied. Then he said, if you want to get the God Source Jade token, you have to pass my test first. What test? Suchin asked calmly. He had guessed that it would not be easy to get the God Source Jade token. Otherwise, after so many grand competitions of the 1,000 tribes, the winners would have gotten the God Source Jade token long ago. It's very simple. If you can survive 3 moves from me, you can take the God Source Jade token, the Heavenly Patrol Guard said casually. Is it really that simple? Suchin was stunned. To him, even if he stood still, it would be difficult for the Heavenly Patrol Guard to hurt him, let alone take 3 moves from him. Actually, he had overlooked something. The cultivators of the 1,000 tribes who had entered in the past were all level 10 cultivators. They were not as powerful as he was. After all, the Heavenly Patrol Guard was a false sage. How difficult would it be to take 3 moves from a false sage? Most likely, he wouldn't even be able to withstand a single blow and would be killed. The Heavenly Patrol Guard snorted coldly and said, in the past, the cultivators of the myriad races who came here were all killed by me in 1 move. Do you think it's easy? Suchin's disdain made him quite unhappy. A mere level 10 human dared to look down on him, a false saint. He was simply courting death. Don't be so long-winded. Hurry up. Suchin did not explain further and urged him. Since the other party was looking down on him, he decided to give him a light punishment and teach him a lesson. Arrogant. The Sky Patrol Guard's expression turned ferocious. He clenched his fist and smashed it at Suchin. Before the fist arrived, a fierce fist wind swept towards Suchin. Suchin stood in place without moving an inch, and a faint disdainful smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. You're courting death. Seeing Suchin's expression, the Sky Patrol Guard became even more furious. He couldn't help but increase his strength. However, just as his fist was about to touch Suchin, a huge invisible force suddenly surged over. Instantly, he sank into a quagmire, and all his movements became sluggish. Mental power. The Sky Patrol Guard was inexplicably shocked. He had seen many spirit reader masters, but he had never heard of one as powerful as Suchin. One had to know that he was a false sage and Suchin was only level 10. In the case of being 1 level lower than him, he could still restrict him to the point that he couldn't move. From this, it could be seen that the strength of Suchin's mental power was definitely far superior to those of the same level. It was even much stronger than a false sage. I'm not just a spirit reader master. Suchin smiled faintly. Then he clenched his fist and blasted it at the Sky Patrol Guard. Chapter 1093. You're still an evolver? The Sky Patrol Guard exclaimed. His eyes were filled with deep fear. At that moment, he could clearly feel that Suchin's punch contained an extremely violent power. Even if he wasn't restrained, he didn't think he could block the punch, let alone now that he couldn't move. It's over. The Sky Patrol Guard was already prepared to die. To his surprise, Suchin's fist stopped just as it was about to hit his face. However, the wind from the punch still made his scalp go numb. You're not going to kill me? The Sky Patrol Guard stared at Suchin in a daze after coming back to his senses. If Suchin wanted to kill him, it would be no different from killing an ant. Why didn't he kill him? He couldn't figure it out. Why should I kill you? Suchin chuckled softly. He retracted his mind power and allowed the Sky Patrol Guard to regain his freedom. His original intention was to teach the Sky Patrol Guard a lesson. He didn't want to kill him. After all, the Sky Patrol Guard had protected the God Source Jade countless times. He had worked hard even if he didn't get any credit. If he hadn't been guarding here, the God Source Jade would have been taken away long ago. It was also because of this that Suchin spared his life. There are 2 more moves. Are you going to fight or not? If not, I'll take the God Source Jade. Suchin looked at the Sky Patrol Guard and said calmly, you win. Take the God Source Jade. The Sky Patrol Guard smiled bitterly. He couldn't even fight back against Suchin. He would be looking for trouble if he continued fighting. Su-Chen nodded and walked to the God Source Jade token. He reached out and touched it. Suddenly, the God Source Jade flashed with a golden light and disappeared in midair. At the same time, a door of light appeared where it disappeared. The God Source Jade is gone? Su-Chen was stunned. At that moment, the Sky Patrol guard reminded him, "Don't worry. This God Source Jade has already merged with the one you have." Hearing this, Su-Chen quickly opened his storage bag to check. Indeed, the Divine Origin Jade token was bigger than before. After a while, he nodded at the Sky Patrol guard and stepped into the door of light. After another round of dizziness, Su-Chen returned to the edge of the lake. Venerable Shenyuan also stood in the middle of the lake. The moment Su-Chen appeared, he was abnormally excited. At first, he was a little worried that Su-Chen would be killed by the Sky Patrol guards. Now it seemed that his worries were all in vain. "Senior, please help me open the passage to the heavenly altar Huanyu," Su-Chen said. "Aren't you going to rest for a few days?" Venerable Shenyuan frowned. In his opinion, even if Su-Chen had obtained the second Divine Source Jade card, he must have had a huge battle with the Sky Patrol guard. At this time, it was best to recover his primordial chi and replenish his spirit before going to the heaven altar Huanyu. It was unwise to be in such a hurry. Why should he rest? Su-Chen was confused. He said firmly, "Senior, hurry up. I am full of energy now." He didn't want to waste time there. Although Wu Tsang could stop the Sky Patrol priest for half a year, he couldn't guarantee that. If there were any unforeseen events and the Sky Patrol priest killed his way here, it would be troublesome. Seeing that Su-Chen was so insistent, Venerable Shenyuan didn't persuade him anymore. Soon he opened the passage to the heavenly altar Huanyu. Without the slightest hesitation, Su-Chen stepped straight in. After a few breaths, Su-Chen's vision gradually became clear, and he realized that he had come to a desert. All he could see was yellow sand. Chapter 1094. Su-Chen glanced around and opened the planting space to connect with the two immortal essence grasses. "Xiaolan, Xiaoqing, can you sense the location of the God Source Jade token?" "Master, I feel very weak. The God Source Jade token should be very far away from us, or it's blocked by something," Xiaolan replied. "Lead the way. We'll go immediately." As Su-Chen spoke, he took out the intelligent war chariot. Under the guidance of the immortal essence grasses, the intelligent war chariot flew in a direction. On the way, Su-Chen asked, "Satoshi, search the surroundings." In an unfamiliar environment, it was better to be careful. "Master, I didn't find anything," the intelligent war chariot immediately replied. Su-Chen nodded and sat in the driver's seat. He began to organize the debris. A day later, the intelligent war chariot flew out of the desert. What appeared in front of them were towering stone pillars. From afar, it looked like a stone forest. At this moment, the intelligent war chariot also reminded him, "Master, we found a large number of cultivators from the myriad races 50,000 miles ahead." "Cultivators from the myriad races?" Su-Chen pondered for a moment and asked, "Are they on the way?" If it was on the way, he could go and take a look. If it was not, there was no need. After all, finding the God Source Jade token was the most important thing. "Yes," the intelligent war chariot replied affirmatively. "Then let's go and take a look," Su-Chen muttered. After more than an hour, the intelligent war chariot arrived at its destination. Su-Chen looked outside and saw thousands of cultivators from the myriad races gathered in a basin. At this moment, they were facing a stone statue and kneeling devoutly. Su-Chen felt that there should be some special ceremony held here, so he did not pay much attention to it. Just as he was about to leave, the swift bird suddenly reminded him, "Master, there's an emerald star stone in that stone statue." "What's an emerald star stone?" Su-Chen raised his eyebrows. Anything that could be mentioned by Swiftbird was of high value and had already piqued his interest. The emerald starstone can be used to store the power of faith. In addition, it can also help spiritual pets level up. Spiritual pets below the divine realm can level up by swallowing one stone, the Swiftbird explained. Hearing this, Su-Chen's eyes lit up. After absorbing the energy of the Kongming stone, his spirit pets had leveled up, but their levels were still too low, especially the awakened mythological beast that he had high hopes for. Until now, it was only at the 7th stage of the saint rank, and there was still a long way to go before it reached the divine realm. Since he had learned that there was something to improve the level of the spiritual pet, he naturally wouldn't miss it. Satoshi, go down, Suchin ordered. Yes. The intelligent war chariot descended towards the basin. At this moment, the swift bird spoke again. Master, I feel that the stone statue isn't simple. It seems to contain a very evil power. It's all right. Suchin did not care at all. With the ancient godfiend body, he could restrain all evil demons and monsters, so there was no need to worry about that at all. After the intelligent war chariot landed in a grandiose manner, it immediately caused a huge commotion in the basin. All the cultivators of the myriad races looked at the intelligent war chariot with incomparable anger in their eyes. This was the place where they worshipped the god of evil, and there were actually outsiders who swaggered in. They were simply courting death. The moment Suchin opened the door and walked out, he suddenly felt countless sharp gazes directed at him. These guys hate me very much. Suchin pursed his lips, ignored them, and walked straight towards the stone statue. Stop! Suddenly, a loud roar resounded in Suchin's ears. Suchin stopped and turned his head, only to see a titan glaring at him like a tiger eyeing its prey. Judging from the aura emitted by the other party, it had reached level 10. Chapter 1095. Human, who are you? Who allowed you to come here? The Titan giant shouted coldly. The other myriad races cultivators also glared at Suchin. I'll take something and leave. You'd better not ask for trouble. Suchin snorted and continued walking toward the stone statue. You're courting death. The cultivators of the myriad races were enraged. Not only did Suchin trespass here, but he also did not take them seriously. He was too arrogant. All the myriad races cultivators could not take it anymore and clamored. Since you won't say it, then go to hell. The Titan giant laughed sinisterly and flew in front of Suchin. He clenched his huge fist and smashed it down. You're courting death. Suchin smiled contemptuously and also punched out. Seeing that Suchin dared to fight the Titan giant head-on, all the myriad races cultivators had mocking looks on their faces. The Titan giant was the most powerful race among the myriad races. The power of one punch was tens of thousands of kilograms, enough to destroy everything. On the other hand, Suchin was just a weak human. How could he fight the Titan giant head-on? In their opinion, as long as the Titan giant punched, Suchin would be smashed into pieces. Bang! In the next moment, the two fists collided rapidly, making an intense sound of collision. However, to everyone's surprise, the expected scene of Suchin being smashed into pieces by one punch did not happen. Instead, the Titan giant's fist and entire arm were smashed into pieces. Hiss! The sound of people sucking in cold air could be heard all around. The eyes of all the cultivators of the 10,000 races were filled with deep confusion and fear. They couldn't understand how a weak human had managed to crush a titan. Ah! The Titan giant, who had lost an arm, screamed and retreated continuously. He only stopped after retreating dozens of steps and looked at Suchin in horror. Suchin narrowed his eyes as he scanned the Titan giant, a cold glint flashing in his eyes. Since the Titan giant dared to take the initiative to attack him, he had no intention of letting him go. All of a sudden, his foot moved, and he vanished on the spot like a ghost. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the Titan giant. Your speed! The Titan's heart pounded violently, but before he could react, he saw Suchin's punch coming at him. This punch was as fast as lightning. There was a loud explosion. The Titan was blasted into smithereens. What terrifying strength! How cruel! All the cultivators of the myriad clans were stunned. Their eyes looking at Suchin were completely covered by a layer of horror. After collecting the fragments, Suchin once again walked towards the stone statue. When he was 10 steps away from the stone statue's closed eyes suddenly opened, emitting a strong bloodthirsty aura, and shot an evil light directly at Su Chun. Human, why aren't you kneeling when you see me? When that evil light landed on Su Chun, the stone statue suddenly snorted coldly. Who do you think you are? Su Chun pursed his lips and smiled contemptuously. Did the other party think that he could crush him with just an evil light? He was too naive. You're actually not affected? The evil god stone statue widened its eyes in shock and bewilderment. The evil light could seize one's mind. Once touched, one would lose their consciousness and become a puppet under his control. In the past, using the evil light had always been successful. It was the first time he had encountered someone like Su Chun who was not affected at all. Hand over the emerald starstone, and I can give you a quick death. Su Chun stared at the stone statue of the evil god, and said coldly. Chapter 1096. Wishful Thinking. The stone statue of the evil god was enraged. Countless evil lights shot out from its eyes. However, the evil light was not directed at Su Chun. Instead, it landed on the cultivators of the myriad races around him. Human, you can go to hell now. The stone statue of the evil god sneered. It pointed at Su Chun and ordered the cultivators around him. Attack together and kill him. Su Chun was powerful. However, there were thousands of cultivators around. Among them, there were hundreds of level 10 cultivators. If they attacked together, Su Chun would not be able to survive no matter how powerful he was. You're too naive. Su Chun sneered. Then he opened the pet rearing space and chaos space. A group of spirit pets, Chi Mufeng, and the others filed out. So many powerhouses. The stone statue of the evil god was stunned. He could clearly see that the flaming phoenix and other spiritual pets, as well as Chi Mufeng and the others, had all reached level 10. With them joining in, wanting to besiege and kill Su Chun was clearly impossible. Thinking of this, he wanted to escape. Because Su Chun gave him the feeling that he was too dangerous and too strange. Not only was he powerful, but he could also ignore the evil lights. This gave him a lot of pressure. He did not have the slightest confidence that he could defeat Su Chun. Kill all these mutated tribesmen. After Su Chun gave the order, he turned to look at the stone statue of the evil god. A mocking smile appeared on his face. The stone statue of the evil god was shocked. He turned around and ran. However, how could his speed be compared to Su Chun's? Before he could run a few steps, Su Chun caught up with him. Human, do you really want to fight to the death with me? Seeing that he could not escape, the stone statue of the evil god roared at Su Chun angrily. Fight to the death with me? Do you have the ability? Su Chun sneered. Then he released his mind energy and swept it toward the stone statue of the evil god. I'll fight to the death with you. The stone statue of the evil god gritted his teeth. Suddenly, a bright crystal light appeared on his body. The mind energies that pounced over were destroyed the moment they came into contact with it. Human, now you know how powerful I am? The stone statue of the evil god laughed. He released the power of faith. He did not think Su Chun could defeat him. I told you that you were naive, but you did not believe me. Su Chun smiled faintly, and threw out a mini golden city. It was the City of Faith. City of the Faith was the nemesis of the power of faith. As soon as it appeared, it released a powerful suction force. In the blink of an eye, the power of faith released by the evil god stone statue was sucked clean. What is this thing? The stone statue of the evil god. Stone evil stone. The power of faith was his strongest trump card. Without this trump card, what could he use to fight Su Chun? Su Chun put away the City of the Faith. A purple light flashed under his feet, and his figure disappeared instantly. In the next moment, he was in front of the stone statue of the evil god. Before the stone statue of the evil god could react, he slashed down. Poochie! The head of the stone statue of the evil god flew into the sky, and the life aura on its body was quickly extinguished. Su Chun then cut open the body of the stone statue of the evil god, and dug out a gem shining with starlight from it. After looking at it carefully, he contacted Swiftbird and asked, Xiao Sun, is this gem an emerald star stone? Yes. Swift Bird replied affirmatively. Hearing this, Su Chen's lips curled up slightly. Then, he called the awakened divine beast to his side, and gave it the emerald star stone. Thank you, Master. The awakened divine beast was overjoyed and thanked him. Su Chen nodded, and then joined the ranks of the mutated race. Chapter 1097. 10 minutes later, all the foreign tribesmen were killed. Su Chen collected the fragments and returned to the intelligent war chariot. He continued to fly toward the God-source jade token. After flying for 3 days, a vast ocean appeared in front of him. Satoshi searched the area. Are there any sea beasts? Su Chen asked. If there were enough sea beasts, he could kill a group of them. Master, there are very few sea beasts, and they are scattered. The intelligent war chariot immediately replied. Let's continue, Su Chen ordered. He would not waste time on such a small number of sea beasts. The intelligent war chariot flew for half a day, and a huge island gradually appeared in front of them. Tall mountains could be vaguely seen on the island, and they pierced through the clouds. It was a shocking sight. Master, I feel that the God-source jade token is on that island. At this moment, the immortal essence grass suddenly reminded him. I finally found it. Su Chen heaved a sigh of relief and said to the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, enter the island immediately. Yes. The intelligent war chariot sped up and charged toward the island. When they reached the island, they saw that the island was surrounded by a layer of energy shield. Lightning flashed on it, and it emitted a terrifying energy wave. Satoshi, can we charge in? Su Chen asked. Master, it has been suppressed to level 10. It will be difficult to charge in, the intelligent war chariot said. Let me do it. Su Chen nodded, opened the door and walked out. Then he put the intelligent war chariot away. At the same level, his defense was much higher than the intelligent war chariot's. Furthermore, he had many tricks up his sleeves. It was not a big problem to break this layer of energy shield. Su Chen quickly flew to the island and sized up the energy shield. Then he took out the chaotic sky-splitting sword and slashed at it. There was a crisp crack. A crack of about 10 feet in size appeared on the energy shield. Su Chen seized the opportunity and flew into the crack. Upon entering the island, the swift bird suddenly warned loudly, Master, there's a very powerful existence not far away. How strong is he? Su Chen said indifferently. 9th stage saint rank. Swift Bird immediately replied. Su Chen raised his eyebrows and quickly checked his cultivation. When he discovered that his cultivation had returned to the 7th stage of the saint realm, he let out a long sigh of relief. This island must have formed a world of its own, and was not suppressed by the power of the boundary. Little blue, little green, where is the divine origin jade token? Su Chen asked. Right now, the most important thing was to find the God's Origin Jade card. It wouldn't be too late to fight that 9th stage saint-level expert after he found the God's Origin Jade card. Master, it's not far ahead, Xiaolan replied. Also in front? Su Chen narrowed his eyes. According to what the swift bird and the immortal essence grass said, the God's Origin Jade card and the 9th stage saint-level expert might be in the same place. Could it be that another heavenly patrol guard was guarding the God's Origin Jade card? Su Chen had his suspicions but did not think too much about it. No matter what, he would find out once he went over to check. Then he flew straight ahead. A few minutes later, a huge valley appeared in front of him. There was a God's Origin Jade card hanging in the middle of the valley. Other than that, Su Chen also saw a heavenly patrol guard. However, he was kneeling at the foot of a stone statue and looked very pathetic. Evil God stone statue. When Su Chen saw the stone statue, his eyelids twitched. He saw clearly that the stone statue in the valley was exactly the same as the one he had killed. The only difference was that the stone statue in front of him was taller and more powerful. Chapter 1098. Xiao Sun, is this evil god's stone statue the stage 9 saint? Su Chen asked. There were only the evil god stone statue and the sky patrol guards in the valley. Most of the sky patrol guards wouldn't have such a high cultivation level. The only one left was the evil god stone statue. Yes. Swiftbird answered affirmatively. After confirming, Suchin didn't think too much and walked toward the god source jade token. When he got close, the evil god stone statue suddenly opened its eyes. Human, you dare to come here after killing my clone. You have some guts. The evil god stone statue stared at Suchun and smiled. I'm here for the god source jade token. You'd better behave yourself. Otherwise, I don't mind killing you here. Suchun's face didn't change as he said calmly. Kill me? The evil god stone statue's expression froze. Then it became arrogant. Human, do you know what kind of existence I am? You want to kill me? Do you have the ability to do so? Previously, through the information sent by the clone, Suchun was only a level 10 cultivator. As for him, he was a 9th stage saint ranker. Therefore, he treated Suchun like an ant. The Sky Patrol guard, who was kneeling on the ground, sighed deeply. He thought that Suchun didn't know the evil god stone statue's cultivation level at all. That was why he dared to boast so shamelessly. You're just a stage 9 saint. What's there to boast about? Suchun curled his lips and said disdainfully. To others, a stage 9 saint was indeed a super powerhouse. But in his eyes, it was still not enough. You actually know my cultivation level? The evil god stone statue was stunned for a moment, and looked at Suchun in a daze. He suspected that Suchun was hiding his cultivation level, and that he was also a super powerhouse. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared to come here so rashly, and he wouldn't have appeared so calm. The Sky Patrol guard's eyes suddenly flashed with a hint of hope. If Suchun was really an expert and could defeat the evil god statue, then that would be the case. Then he would be saved. Human, you're also a saint-level expert, aren't you? The statue stared at Suchun and asked coldly. Of course, I wouldn't dare to come if I wasn't a saint. Suchun admitted generously, and released the aura of a 7th level saint rank. 7th level saint realm. The evil god stone statue was shocked. Suchun looked like he was only 20 years old. To have this kind of cultivation at such a young age, he could indeed be called a genius. However, there was still a gap of 2 levels between them. Wanting to kill him was no different from wishful thinking. Level 7 saint level. What a pity. The Heavenly Patrol guard sighed again. Originally, he still had a trace of hope. However, after Suchun revealed his cultivation, this glimmer of hope was completely extinguished. Because in his opinion, Suchun was definitely not a match for the evil god stone statue. If he fought it head-on, he would probably be killed in one move. Boy, you want to kill me with your cultivation level? Don't you think you're ridiculous? The evil god stone statue sneered. Then its face darkened and it said sternly, kneel down and be my slave now, and I'll consider sparing your life. You think too highly of yourself. Suchun snorted coldly and suddenly used the Atlas shapeshifting technique. After his body rose to 30 meters, a terrifying aura spread out. Shapeshifting technique. 8th level saint level. The evil god stone statue was shocked. However, it recovered quickly and sneered. So what if you've reached 8th level saint level? You're still an ant in my eyes. Suchun didn't say anything more. His foot moved, and like a graceful swan he rushed straight towards the evil god statue. You're tuning into the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.